This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
Here we go. The Adelaide 36ers taking on the JackJumpers. Now, the JackJumpers, one game, one win as a franchise. It sounds pretty good, but the Adelaide 36ers 0-2. The only thing worse than that is 0-3, and they're staring down the barrel of it right now. But I don't think it's going to happen. I reckon their backs are against the wall, and I will back them to have a bit better shooting game here. Just don't think there's going to be a huge amount of defence. So I'm going to back the Adelaide 36ers. Just have a little bit more offensive firepower in their arsenal to take this game out. For that reason, it's a rarity, but I'm going to take the overs here. One thing that I very rarely do in the NBL, because I think these totals are naturally a little bit high. Happy to do it here with the lack of defence. And don't forget, bet with mates. Every group needs an NBL aficionado. So start a group, enjoy, and gamble responsibly.
First time since 1996, basketball is back in Tasmania. The jet from deep to finish off the corner in style. Will Magnay says no. The jet for three. Got it. Tasmania making a run as they lead by 4. Sobey for 3. Got it! Nathan Sobey with ice running through his veins. Josh Adams winds it down. Lost the handles. Might still get a chance to get it away. He did. We need another 5 minutes to sort these two out. The Jets throw it upstairs for Josh Adams. He went to the next level. McVeigh to finish it. Game over. Tasmania basketball fans had tears in their eyes when they lost their team. 26 years later, they have happy tears in their eyes as the JackJumpers return to the NBL in style. 83-74 victors on opening night.
We're trying to build something here special. It's taken a lot of hard work. Our motto has been to defend the island, and tonight was the first night that we officially defended the island, so I'm really proud of them. They're very gritty. They're very feisty. They got a good edge to them.
I mean, just the crowd tonight, their energy and the noise they made tonight just from the blitz until now was one of the most special moments for sure.
You know, for me, at the end of the day, I've been away from my family for 14 months, and the last month's been very difficult for me. It was just an accumulation of everything.
Well, the Tasmanian JackJumpers last week produced a history-making winning start to their NBL journey with a thrilling overtime win against Brisbane. And tonight, in front of another sellout home crowd, they'll look to remain undefeated behind the dynamic duo of point guard Josh Majette and, of course, his acrobatic backcourt running mate in Josh Adams. Hello everybody, I'm John Casey. Great to have your company from My State Bank Arena in Hobart as round 2 of the Hungry Jacks NBL gets underway. The Adelaide 36ers arrive here having lost both their opening round games. They're on a club record 9-game losing streak. So plenty on the line here tonight. And to tell us more, your commentators, Corey Williams, Peter Hooley and Cam Luke.
Thank you, Case, and hello, everybody, wherever you might be right around Australia. Thursday night hoops, this is going to be big, and I'm going to start with you, Pete Hooley, because last Friday night, it was historic, it was emotional, but most importantly, it was a W for the JackJumpers. How important is it to bring the energy again, and how hard is it to replicate it?
I mean, you couldn't script it any better. Overtime, the place was pumping. Jack Rewalt was DJing. Everything was going great for the JackJumpers. They're going to have highlight plays, but it's the energy plays, the effort plays. They've set an expectation and a tone. That's what the fans want to see. They've got to start that way, have fun with it. 36ers
back in Tasmania, where they were great in the blitz when they won that, but they had a tough road double. Well, home on the second game, but either way, Perth and Illawarra, two really good teams. Horrible from the three-point line on Friday, turn the ball over on Sunday. Homicide, you say they'll make the top 4. How big's this?
I still have them in my top 4, but I'll tell you this. Dusty Hannahs, you better show up. 0 for 2 in round 1, 0 for 6 from the land of plenty, and 7 of 25. That ain't cutting it in this league. You're going to have to show up tonight and lead from the front.
DoorDash starting 5. DoorDash, here's your delivery MVP. Over $20. Type in Daly, 0 delivery fee. And there's your DoorDash starting 5, and good news, same as last week.
Well, it is, and you're going to have Josh Adams, Josh Majette lead the way. They're the exciting import combo. Sam McDaniel on his birthday. Happy birthday, young fella. And the next star, Nikita Mikhailovsky, gets his first start from the bench, but in a JackJumpers uniform, coming off injury. Might see a bit of him tonight.
Last year, Jack McVeigh, he was a 36er. Tonight, he's a JackJumper, and he hit the big one. The sealer last week, and moments ago, he was courtside with John Casey.
Jack, fantastic atmosphere last weekend to get the win. Was that the best crowd you've played in front of?
It was definitely up there. Opening night, you know, the first of something ever was very special. It's hard to replicate that. The fans got into it and helped us get the win.
And you're energetic at the best of times, but to put the nail in the coffin, that big 3 late in the game, that must have really set you off.
Yeah, definitely. I was joking with the boys afterwards. I can't actually remember doing the celebration, so blacked out a little bit in excitement when I saw they called the timeout. And hey, that's why we play basketball.
Now, Adelaide fans love you as well. They're disappointed you're not in a 36ers singlet. Tell us why the move to Hobart.
It's always a lot of reasons. I mean, I still love the Adelaide 36ers. That's still home. But now I'm in something new and exciting. Get to start. You know, I believe in what Scott Roth is doing, and now coming here to make this home. And so Hobart's where I'm at, and I'm absolutely loving it.
There we go. Moments away. DoorDash starting 5. McCarron, Hannahs, Withers, Johnson, and Humphreys for the 36ers, who are zipping 2. And the JackJumpers trying to go 2 and zip in front of, again, a sold-out My State Bank arena. Homicide. Who gets the W?
It's going to be a close one. Flip a coin. I don't know.
That's not a prediction.
I don't know.
Peter Hawley.
I think the Sixers will get on the board in a close one.
And away we go. The JackJumpers. Good matchup here. Straight off the bat. Mitch McCarron, look at him. Ray Borner medalist as well, going to lead the way. Shot clock already down to 7. McDaniel, happy birthday to the young man. He was first to score last week. DJ with the rebound, and will push the other way, the 36ers. Wherever you might be around the country, hashtag NBL22. Tough pass by Humphreys. And that's not the start you want, Hulls.
Well, it's not, but Mitch McCarron was definitely looking for Daniel Johnson, who sprinted the lane, was unguarded. Isaac Humphreys just got in the way, thought the pass was intended for him, and in the end, it's going to be a turnover.
Majet, McCarron. McVeigh against his former team. Oh, a little step back. Might have got away with a walk. Adams, no good. McCarron falls to Majet, waltzes on in, lays it over Humphreys. And the JackJumpers, just like last Friday, are on the board first.
And one thing that they do extremely well is hustle. They're all over the place, and that's how they won that game their first game, hustling hard. You got to box them out.
You mentioned Dusty Hannahs. You've been in this situation, new to a league, Homicide, a lot of pressure. How do you handle it early when you've had a tough start?
I mean, you got to remember who you are. That's what you have to do, and you have to come out in this game and let your team and organization remember who you are. It's about trust and backing yourself. He has to show up big.
Withers, no good. McDaniel with the rebound. A turnover and a rushed 3, contested 3 to start it for the 36ers. Magnay was brilliant last week, so was this man. Majet, step back, straight 3, bounce. No good. Humphreys.
Been a little disorganised in these opening few sets. The JackJumpers settling for some contested shots. The only real good look they had was Sam McDaniel on the offensive rebound. They've got to get back to that high-energy plays they started with in their first game. They were diving on the floor, trapping every possession. That's going to help. Another turnover from Isaac Humphreys. They do have the ability to have the highlight play. We saw it in the blitz. We saw it in the overtime with Majet's alley-oop to Josh Adams. Scott Roth put in this design around the culture to be hard-nosed, dive on the floor, trap the ball, really get the crowd involved that way, not just with highlight plays.
21 turnovers on Sunday for the 36ers. They've got 2 early doors here. McDaniel. Shot clock at 8. Adams. Forces up a tough one. Hannahs did a pretty good job. Now the 36ers will push. Wide open, Daniel Johnson. It was turnovers and 3-point shooting of Paul last week. Homicide, and already it started that way as McVeigh the other end. Against his former team, knocks it down 5-0. And nearly a 3-minute scoring drought for this Adelaide 36ers team. Here's Hannahs. Gets a good look, gets to the buckets, able to kickstart his night. That's what he needed, Homicide.
And it's always great when you can get an easy 2 points to ease the pressure. And what easier 2 points it is than to get a layup.
Here's Adams. Well, nice little bounce pass to Magnay. Was tipped away. Here we go.
Well, even more than that from Dusty Hannahs. The great Great part about it was here just the lack of defensive transition from the Sixers leads Jack McVeigh wide open. You can't afford that. But Dusty Hannahs looked like he was putting his foot down, trying to attack the rim, trying to get some contact. The best way if you're struggling on the way your stroke's feeling, get to the free throw line, feel good about it, see one go down. But I love that he put his head down and was attacking. All reports were that he has been shooting the ball real nice in shoot around and leading into it. But once the ball gets thrown up, it's a different ball game.
Of course, we had a, well, looking at that Jack McVeigh 3, good to see. Coaches Challenge in this year, a lot less screen action. Referees had a quick chat and said, pointed the wrong way, let's go the other way. So nice start to be able to say, I'll be pointed the wrong way. Wherever you might be around the country, hashtag NBL22 to get involved. Here is Hannahs. Great pass inside. Drew the double and triple team. Humphries slips to the ring. Nice pass. He's able to throw it down.
Well, I love that they're going to Hannahs early. That's been the hype all week, is how is he going to respond to his slow opening 2 games. And credit to him, he's looked good so far with the way he's creating and getting involved with the offense. Well done, CJ Bruton. A good start for the Sixers.
It's going to be an offensive foul. Or is it? I thought he said offense. They look. No, it's not. Well, it's a scrappy start.
We know history, can't look into it too much, and Casement's off the top. There you go, there's the foul, but the streak that the Adelaide 36ers are on, but they've also lost their last 6 games to a new NBL franchise. That's going back a fair few years. Obviously, notably, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, the last one. Can they turn it around here?
Can you name the other 5? Another turnover, 3rd in the early days. 3 turnovers in 4 minutes, and this is becoming an ongoing issue for CJ Bruton and his men, and there's a really disappointing way to turn it over when you can't even inbound.
You know what? Credit the defense of the JackJumpers. Poor execution offensively, obviously, but defensively, they weren't open. Good job by the JackJumpers.
Bounce pass, turnover the other way. Adams went back door.
And that's a set play from the JackJumpers. That's just not a read from Josh Adams. They clear out the right side and try and get Josh Adams wide open on a back door to get upstairs. They want to get the crowd involved now. That was supposed to be a dunk. The pass just had a bit too much on it, and another turnover as Dusty Hannahs looks to stay aggressive, and he is in a good mindset. Not settling anything around the 3-point line, putting his head down, attacking the rim. Now he gets to go to the line and try and get his eye in.
You know damn well that's what he has to do, because that's a hell of a defender on him in McDaniel. So the way he's going to pressure him and take away his 3-point shot attempts, at least in this game, he has to put the ball on the deck and attack, and now he goes to the line for 2.
And he's been able to get some early foul trouble as well on McDaniel, who now goes to the bench. Clint Steindl comes in for his first minute, so it's 2-way there. You're able to get yourself in some more rhythm at the foul line and see the best defender on the bench.
Well, it's good for him, and we talk about the pressure that's been built up just after round 1, and we know the hype he was brought into the season. We've seen the YouTube videos, all the records he's put up, but he played extremely well in the blitz. The way he lit it up, had that little stretch where he just could not miss. So, yeah, the pressures come from the outside, but the pressures also come from himself for how well he played in the preseason after that round 1.
That's why you can't sleep on him as well, because he turns it on like he did against Perth in this game. Whatever game it is, changes as Adams tries to cross over Withers, gets a little lucky. Shot clock's at 1. McVeigh leaves it short. Withers. Bairstow was great last week, continues it straight off the bench, his first minutes, and this is the man who can play. 15 points he averaged to open this season for the 36ers, and the last 9 points have been all Adelaide.
You know what? It's been great to see him in form, in incredible shape, and healthy. Great extra pass for an easy 2 points by Magnay, and we have an injury on deck. That is never good.
It is not. Can't put a great deal of pressure on it as Withers sits down. Scotty Ross saying, do you want a hand? He said, give me a moment, brother.
Well, he looked like he got hit from a screen, and first glance he went down, and I thought he was trying to get an offensive foul call on the screen, and all you can see there might have just been Will Magnay stepping on his left foot. We'll get another look at it here. Oh, it's not that. It might be a corky. Good old-fashioned corky, but welcome to Australia. Hopefully that's all it is, but he looks in a bit of pain here.
Yeah, he looked like he twisted his ankle trying to get over the screen. That left ankle.
Left ankle and knee. It's not a corky at all, so that's not, hopefully that's not anything bad there. You can see it from that angle. Getting caught up on that screen, and that whole left leg was just bending a bit the wrong way. So hopefully that's something very minor for Todd Withers, who was really good in his first 2 games. I know they lost, went 0-2, but he showed signs of what he can be really good for this Sixers program.
Mojave King in for his first minutes. The next day, here he is. Great pass to Bairstow, who gets it and one. Little pocket pass from the next star, and Cam Bairstow always in the right spot. Feels like at the right times. He's got 5 straight up and will go for an extra.
As you can see the play right here. Screen, rolls, goes in, thanks to Will Magney, but sometimes he'll take it however you can get it.
Well, he spilt it off the pass, Cam Bairstow. That would have gone back to the 3-point line had Will Magney not put it in himself. So we don't really have a Shacked and a Full segment. We might need to get one, because Will Magney doesn't touch that. That's going to the 3-point line for a long ball.
It's not how, it's how many, Pete Hooley. Steindl. Great way to move off the ball. One of the best in the NBL, did exactly that. Doesn't need to put it on the ground too often. He's able to catch, shoot. That's all Twine, and the lead is back to 1.
And that was just beautiful to see. Great offense, comes off. Perfect, beautiful pass.
As King says, right back at you.
Knocks it down, and good to see the young fella coming off the bench, aggressive, assertive, and making shots and making plays happen. More important. And that's what happens when you are a sharpshooter. Hard closeout, head fake, 1 dribble to the left, mid-range shot, bucket, last 5 points, goes to Steindl.
Here's King for 3. Back-to-back dribbles for the next star. He was looking for more opportunity when he left Cairns, and he's getting it early tonight. He's got 6.
He's definitely getting it tonight, and it's good to just see him being aggressive and playing his game. He's a kid with tremendous talent. He just needs to be consistent out there.
Another sloppy pass, and back the other way. Adams. Straight at Daniel Johnson, who in the end hacks him, and Adams will go to the foul line. Turnovers, well, kind of dominating. We've seen 3 each, but they've been bad turnovers at different times as these teams get into a rhythm. But this is what he has to do. We did see that big dunk in the blitz, and for a split second I thought he was about to launch again, but he's let himself to the line.
Here we go, Clint Steindl, he's just checked into the game. If you're Mojave King, you need to know where he is. For the last 5 to 7 years, every time Clint Steindl checks into the game, a play is run for him. You've got to stay locked in. After that, this is a rotation play. He's already hit one, so you know he's feeling good. You've got to stay down. I know you're trying to close out hard. Keep your feet, at least run him off the line. He's already hit one. Every time Clint Steindl checks into the game, you've got to be locked in. They will run a play for him and test out how hot he is. Right now, keep going to him until it dries up.
Josh Adams coming off a 20-point game. He was huge for them in that first game. Hit some key baskets down the stretch, not to mention that beautiful alley-oop dunk in overtime.
What a play called by Scott Roth.
Who runs that?
Well, Scott Roth does. That's who runs it at a crucial time in their first ever game in overtime. Runs a play like that and gets it done, and the whole state went nuts. Malou for 3. Got it. And they had their 3-point shooting difficulties last weekend, but so far tonight, they've been able to drain it 4 of 6 early for the 36ers, and that lead is 6.
Manny Malou's an exciting one for the Adelaide 36ers, and we had the injuries. Clint Steindl tries to see how hot he is and comes up a bit short there. Had some really good campaigns in the NBL1. Finally gets a chance in the NBL and showed some signs in the blitz of what he can do, and that'll help his confidence early, knocking that one down. As Mitch McCarron asked for an M1, but the call was about 25 seconds ago. You're going to struggle to get that as continuation.
Well, what I will say is the continuation rule sometimes does become a little confusing. That seems to be a little too far, but we do sometimes see it happen, so I like the fact that they're appealing for it, Pete Hooley.
You've got to appeal for it just in case you can, if the referee's mind is 50-50, might be able to help the call, but after a slow start with turnovers, the Adelaide 36ers have turned it around, and it has been the outside shooting. Mojave King came in, knocked down 2 of 2 threes, which will also help his confidence, and he only shot 25% from the field in his first 2 games in round 1, so it's Good sign from Mojave King as Mitch McCarron knocks down the back end of that, and Adelaide 36ers are up 7.
Weeks in for his first moments as well. As is McIntosh, here's Steindl, 5 points early. Here's McIntosh, fouled out last weekend. Well, nice pass, Steindl, green light, got it. That's why he's able to get it to go. And Clint Steindl, if there's an all-green light team, he's most certainly in it. But when you're as hot as he is, he deserves it.
And you said it, Hooley. Keep going to the hot hand. He has delivered in this quarter. 2 of 3 from the land of plenty. 8 points in the first quarter.
Well, that's why every time he checks into the game, you just have to make sure that first shot he takes is as tough as possible, because they always test him out, and he's a streaky shooter. If he knocks down a couple and starts feeling good, all of a sudden he can put up a lot of shots quickly and start knocking him down. So when they look back on that, I know it's early in the game, but he started this one really well with 7 points. If he has a breakout game, they're going to look back at that first play and know their scout going forward.
You mentioned NBL 1. There's another young man who's been doing it in NBL 1 and well. Here's Steindl again. Rinse, repeat, 2 points. Steindl's got 9. That leads back to 3. Malou just drops it off to Humphries, a little easy on the other end. But Matt Kenyon in for his first minutes. In the NBL 1, we see more and more each year of these young players who have been really good at it step up, and here's another man who's getting his opportunity. Steindl.
That's outstanding one-on-one defense from Mojave King, moving his feet. Scott Roth yelling at Matt Kenyon to move the ball. He tried to make some play. Good drop-off there from McIntosh to Kristovic. That all started from getting the turnover back. It's going to frustrate CJ Bruton because the one-on-one defense was excellent.
Dufamai couldn't find it. Now they just turned it straight back. It's turnover v turnover to Malou.
Both teams in this quarter extremely good block. But
Kenyon the first time, couldn't do it the second time, and Cam Bairstow powers on up. And again, Cam Bairstow having a nice night. He's up to 7.
Look, both teams need to be careful with this ball and protect it. It's too many turnovers by both teams in this quarter.
Here's Kristovic. Weeks fades away in front of his bench, and they love it as he knocks it down. And while the 36ers have been good from the three-point line early days, now a couple late here for the JackJumpers, and that lead is back to 3. Dufamar guarded by Weeks. Uses the Humphrey screen. Shot clock's down to 5. Great lob, Malou. Great defense. Steindl, too late. Wouldn't have counted, but that's a great start. I think we might check that out again as well. Great weak side defense. Hooley, talk us through it.
You see the little lob there. Jared Weeks doing the right thing by fronting, but Matt Kenyon coming all the way across to block that one. Excellent way to help your teammates out.
Scrappy at times, hot shooting late. 3-point lead for the 36ers after 1 at My State Bank Arena. quarter in the books. My State Bank Arena, it's the 36ers. Zipping 2 last weekend. Still turning it over, but lead by 3 against the Tasmanian JackJumpers. Clint Steindl was outstanding in the first quarter. Mitch McCarron, the Ray Borner medalist. Here we go, the Kmart $50 gift card. Storm Tienches. Storm's family, they like different sports, so they play 3 at once together at the park. They head on down and they go, yeah, I like this, I love basketball, I like this sport, and bang, we're going to do it all. So congratulations to Storm's family. $50 Kmart gift card is theirs.
That 3-way hoop thing, have you ever played with one of those? Those things are tough.
I have enough trouble with one hoop, Peter. Oh, there's that turnover. Dufmar throws it out. Let's go down to Anthony Stewart because he was listening to Scott Roth in the quarter-time huddle. Stewie, what did he say?
Yeah, I think the penetration's really hurting him. He's worried about the open shots that Adelaide are getting. I think they shot the ball pretty well in that first quarter, and he's highly concerned in that area. But Clint Steindl, on the other hand, is lighting it up.
Hey, Stewie, last Friday night was out of control, energy and emotion in the building. What's it like tonight?
Oh, mate, look, the state's out of control at the moment. It's the energy around that play last week, as you mentioned. You got 2 next-level backcourt imports that are just creating a nightmare for teams to come in this year, and I think the atmosphere it's as good as what I've seen anywhere around the league when I was playing.
Love it, Anthony Stewart. And he's played everywhere and he's done everything in the NBL. It's ugly here at the moment, but Grizzlovich says, can't quite hit it. Bairstow, McIntosh go for it. Referee says that's off the hip of Cam Bairstow and will stay with the JackJumpers.
Clint Steindel's a better man than most if you're a sharpshooter like he is. He had some daylight there. He's currently 4 of 5. Made the extra pass to Grizzlovich. He's got to let that one fly.
What'd you make of the first quarter, Homicide?
A little bit too sloppy for me. But I guess when both teams are so anxious, one wants to get on the winning side of things and get things in order, and you get a bit anxious. The other one want to keep that momentum. So that's a result of what the first quarter will look like for me.
5 turnovers for the 36ers. We have spoken about Sunday and their turnover issues against Illawarra, as that's an offensive foul. Steindl moving. Now, Todd Withers, we've seen him get taken to the locker room in the first quarter. John Casey courtside. What can you tell us?
Cam, good news for Adelaide 36ers fan. Todd Withers actually suffered a cramp in his calf. That's all it was. The worst part about it was that he had to take some of that awful pickle juice. That Tristan, who worked his magic there in the physio, he didn't like that part, but it's just a cramp, so he's okay. I think the 36ers are happy so far, 64% from the field. Turnovers still a problem. If they can tighten that up, they're in good shape.
Thank you, Case. Good news. Courtside, here's Dufmar. McCarron, 3, continues. What is a hot shooting night for the 36ers. He's able to get it down. He's got 4, and that lead is 6.
Mitch McCarron, we know that he's a pass-first point guard, and he's always going to set up the plays, and they have been a bit sloppy, so just trying to get everybody on the right page offensively. He can score and score in bunches when he wants to. We talk about when he played for the Cairns Taipans. That was what he did. He put up some big numbers, got on some rebounds. That's going to be a foul. Matt Kenyon there, just a little bit of a hip check, but Dusty Hannah's staying aggressive.
So we go back to the inbounds. McIntosh looking.
Well, I'm not sure what McIntosh saw there, because Todd Withers was clearly in his line of sight between him and Jared Weeks, and maybe he just wanted to trust Weeksy to beat him for the ball, but that was ambitious.
It was a risky pass, and he could have ran the baseline. They scored a bucket.
5 points for Dusty Hannahs. What'd you make of his first quarter? Not just points-wise, of which he had 4, but his aggressiveness and the way he went about it, Homicide.
And he has to continue to be aggressive. He has to trust and back himself. That's what he is. He's a machine. He goes hard. So, yeah, sometimes your shots don't fall, but you have to back yourself for the next game and the next shot.
Do you feel the pressure more internally when you're an import playing around the world and here in the NBL, or externally in the conversation around performance?
It's internal.
Yeah.
Especially when you are a known gun. It's got to live up to that reputation. So if you know you didn't come out well in the first round, pressure starts to mount. Make no mistake about that.
Dufmar downhill, gets hit. Referee signal 2.
97. Well, he was going for a little bit of the around the well, trying to get that layup. So it is the right call going to the line here. Had Dufmar, I'm expecting a lot of him this season after the spurts we saw from last year in the Cairns Taipans. And a talented scorer. In the NBL1, we've seen that. He actually plays for the Hobart Chargers for Anthony Stewart, so he knows what to expect. But Good to see him now trying to be a bit more of an attacking mindset.
Timeout. Let's have a listen to Scott Roth as he has a chat to his crew.
If we can get back in transition and level them off, you're fine. But long rebounds, they're getting ahead of us. We're biting on stuff we shouldn't bite on. The offense is grinding a little bit. I don't mind the daggers. You go ahead and keep shooting those, all right? Just clear yourself under the rim. You can move the baseline. You didn't move. Run with them, hand him the ball, all right? He's got to help you. You got to move the baseline, too.
Don't shortcut. We got to make 4-12 every time. Help him out.
Let's go on the 77 away C. No, let's go 77 away the fist. Yeah, all right? Yeah. Keep your pace. We're playing too slow offensively also. Keep our pace up. Come on. We need more energy. They're outworking us. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
Scott Roth in the timeout there. He was emotional last week after that win, the historic win last Friday night, and he spoke of how hard it has been. It's a much different world. It's harder sometimes to travel between states, let alone countries. Hasn't seen his family for 14 months. It would be incredibly hard to live that and also be a head coach for a new franchise.
Well, it would be one of the toughest things ever, and you talk about all the challenges that he's facing as he's leading a new franchise now around the state, building the culture, building everything from scratch, and that's what he's had to do, and to do that without your partner and your family by your side. That's why the emotions ultimately poured out of him. I'm sure there was that during the game when it went to overtime, all that, but he got the win, which is just a big credit to him. And Scott Roth, for those that don't, this man is a highly credentialed coach. He's coached some incredible players along the way. Dirk Nowitzki, Porzingis. This man is
Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol.
Been on 5 NBA teams as a coach.
National teams as well in different parts of the world as well.
And you know, honestly, just outside of basketball, we can all relate. There's been times we've missed family, been away from family. Imagine your wife and your child, your daughter, 14 months.
Adams can't hit it, and this continues to be a concern. 2 of 12 from the three-point line. They're shooting 37% from the field, and Adelaide have given it back to him 7 times. That's the issue, and this is a perfect example of it. Mitch McCarron just didn't realise McIntosh was just sneaking up behind him to poke it away.
As I said earlier, both teams are sloppy with this ball. Whoever gets it together and take care of the ball have a great chance of winning this game. Gaining control.
Jump hook, can't hit it. Now we'll go the other way. To McIntosh, who just gets poked away again on cue. McCarron leaves it to Hannes, who had to really stretch, had nowhere to go. And now he's going to just relocate. Turns down the 3 ball. Humphries will not. Short.
Dusty Hannes we spoke about his aggression attacking the rim, and we know he struggles from outside in the first 2 games, but that 3 there in the corner, he's got to let that fly. He hasn't taken one yet. I love that he's getting to the free throw line, drawing fouls, doing all that. But that particular play, that's the one you've got to go. As a shooter, doesn't matter how your first weekend went, you were brought in as a shooter as well as a scorer. Got to let that one fly.
And as he feels he was pushed into it by a jack jumper. Little chuckle.
He didn't pass the ball, so he's not passing. So pick the ball up, he didn't pass it, step backwards. 2 shots.
So because he didn't pass it, he gets 2 shots. Perfect explanation. Mitch McCarron
He tried to, he
vehemently disagree.
The ball, it's still shots. It's the new rule. Thank you.
Well, there's the explanation, because same thought when it first happened. When it initially happened, I thought, see him try and get into a shooting motion, but there you go. There's a great explanation. Michael Allen.
My State Bank Arena, we heard from Anthony Stewart moments ago, this state is jumping. Loving having a team back after 26 years out of the NBL. Here's Humphries. Little fadeaway in the end. It was tough. Magnay did a great job. Big fail. Thought he was going to dive Dennis Rodman style into the first row. We will see that at some point. It wasn't to be here.
Great defense by Will Magnay, just staying in front, making it tough for Humphries.
Hannes. Withers. Back. Cramp. No more. Bottom of the net. The leader's double figures for the first time tonight.
That's something Todd Withers has shown that he can do. Step out and knock down the 3-ball. Good to see him back out there. Injury did look scary when it did go down, and had 3 cracks at it, and all 3 were wrong. It was just a cramp, but the ability to knock down that 3 and stretch the defense.
2 of 13 from the 3-point line right now. Other JackJumpers. Here's Hannahs. Takes a little bump. Adams doesn't agree, but Dusty Hannahs, you wanted it, you called for it, you're getting it.
And what I love about that is I know he's a renowned 3-point shooter, but he is attacking, getting comfortable, getting to the basket, getting fouled. Now he's going to the free throw line for 2. So these are the things that young kids watching. When your shot isn't falling, find other ways to be effective and score. Go to the basket, create contact. Now he goes to the line for 2.
The best part about that play was Josh Adams was the help side defender. He had himself positioned under the basket as Mitch McCarron was in the corner. Dusty Hannahs, as soon as he saw Josh Adams turn his head, he'd attack, put his head down himself, and that's what helped. There was no help. Got the foul called on Majette and went to the line where he's 6 of 6, and he's been a 91% free throw shooter from when he was last playing in the G League. So getting to the line, he's just slowly building his talent.
Holy, let me ask you something, right? Tell me about this 90-plus 3 points. Tell me what's going on with that in Dusty.
Well, it's the you've got to look at the YouTube Josh Majette and Dusty Hannahs, sorry, if you've got to YouTube Dusty Hannahs and have a look at these records, but some of them are, as Andrew Gaze is yet to believe him.
Is Gaze hating? You trying to say?
I told Gaze to have a look at him and he said, watch YouTube. And I said, Gaze, you've just got to type it in. It does the work for you itself. But if they're on there, they're legit.
Gotta be legit.
Flat out shoot.
All right. I think we got to send the link to Gaze. When next time you're doing a game with him, maybe you put it on in the break room with them and have him watch it.
That's the only way to do it with the GOAT.
Majette. McCarron slipped over. Adams in the end was the benefactor, couldn't knock it. Hannahs, a little hesitation on Majette. Daniel Johnson, step back over McVeigh, former teammates. He would have seen that a few times in practice. Over the last couple of years, he's able to knock it down.
And that's his first bucket of the game. The lead balloons to 14.
Well, the JackJumpers have to get Josh Adams going right now. He's 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep. He's going to be their leading guy. We saw it in the Blitz. We saw it in Game 1. He had 20 points. He's their most aggressive scorer. They've got to try and do something to free him up and help him get on the scoreboard, because right now when he's struggling, the JackJumpers are struggling. Last
7 points for the 36ers. Here's head coach CJ Bruton.
Stay for a second. So with Steinel, we're chasing Steinel. We get under on Majette. Naka did a good job to get underneath. Bear's going to be level. It's making sure that, one, with Adams, you just got a hand above ball on the catch. Right now, offensively, hey, play through DJ, right? If McVeigh's on the floor, hey, put him in pick and rolls, space the floor. Remember on the drags on the show, make sure you lift. As he come off the screen, this guy lift, short roll, lift up. It's a kick. Make sure you put it on the deck, get 2 feet in the paint. Play through DJ, play through DJ. Play out of Boston. Hey, Boston.
A great blitz for CJ Bruton in his first head coaching job. I'll ask you, Homicide, no pressure, of course, on his job, but the pressure to get that first W when you're a new coach, it builds with every single game.
Definitely. I mean, his name is iconic in basketball in this country. He's a champion, he's a winner, and he's never in his career as a player ever been 0-2. That's incredible in itself. So obviously you want to get on the winning side of things, and I'm sure they knew. They played against the creme de la creme, the Perth Wildcats and Illawarra. So after those 2 games, you have to know, coming into this game, let's settle down, learn from our mistakes, and focus and get this one.
And as Clint Steinel knocks down a 3, you love the hire and the fact he knows and has dominated this league for such a long period of time.
For me, this guy's been a coach as a player. He's always led his teams to victory, 6 championships in over 17 years in this league. There's nobody else that knows this league more than him. So that's why I believe it will transition over into coaching.
5 points out of the timeout for the JackJumpers. That was a breakaway for McVeigh. Clint Steindl continued before that. McVeigh's got 5. Steindl first man into double figures. It's a 9-point lead with the last 5 for the JackJumpers. Here's Johnson. Gets to his spot. Fade away. Bairstow keeps it alive. Winners.
Daniel Johnson and Jack McVeigh, the ex-teammates, they spoke about each other in the media this week, and there was a couple already in the first quarter where they're having a laugh back and forth with a bit of push and shove, and Daniel Johnson just suggesting that he might have gone down a little easy. But back on CJ Bruton, you speak about the pressure that could be building. We're going to have another look at this, and you see them underneath the basket. Jack McVeigh turns his head, and Daniel Johnson, there's not a whole lot in Jack McVeigh. That is a man who has been training with him for multiple years, knows exactly what he's doing, and he gets the foul call. But CJ Bruton looked at Dusty Hand and said, you're locked into Clint Steindl. The next play down, Clint Steindl gets a 3-ball. There's only so much that CJ Bruton can do in those situations. The players have to follow through. And he's going to rely heavily on guys, the veterans like Daniel Johnson, the captain, Mitch McCarron, to help carry over a game plan and execute it.
Hannes picked up his dribble. McCarron has to let it fly.
And that's two really good defensive possessions by the JackJumpers. Adelaide, there was nothing happening. Good one-on-one defense on Hannah, and they drew up a tough shot.
Another timeout here. That's another foul called on Daniel Johnson. Jack McVeigh doing a great job of trying to box out that time. Not so much the first one, but you take it, it's still a foul call. And I thought that maybe with that quick second foul, Daniel Johnson might have thrown, CJ Bruton might have thrown up a challenge. Don't think he has.
9-point lead. Here's Scott Roth.
Better job defensively, staying square, better energy, getting on the glass. Finish this quarter out strong. Good possessions by possessions. We're gonna bring it over the top. You guys don't have to even look to the screen. When you get it, we're gonna snap it to Jack. Looking for you going. Turning and coming right back. All right? Don't get a moving screen. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
Simple question, Homicide.
Yes.
Full court shot. Think you can shoot one?
Yes.
Hooley?
No.
Well, Homicide, you do it. Head to the NBL website. Right now, you can enter for your chance to shoot for $100,000 in the Latrobe Financial Sharp Shot. And don't worry, if you miss your first shot, Homicide, you get a second go from half court for 50G.
That's full court.
NBL.com.au/Latrobe. All thanks to Latrobe Financial. It's the Sharp Shot.
Dude, I don't even care if you can make it. You got to enter it.
I agree.
And if you miss the full court, you got a chance at 50K half court. It'd be crazy not to get into that.
Can I punt it up there?
There's no rules about how you get it up there. As look at that, as Majet just flings it up, no good. I reckon you're a better chance to throw it than kicking. I've seen your style, but either way, do what you want. Just enter, $100,000 up for grabs. Another bad pass. Turnover's the main reason. 9 turnovers in the first half again, coming off 21 on Sunday. Adams, too easy, kicks it outside. Oh, Majet just leaves it for Jared Bairstow. We're seeing Bairstow v. Bairstow, and one Bairstow was wide open.
That was a better offensive set from the JackJumpers. Everybody moving, the ball moved through hands, because the first 10 shots that the JackJumpers attempted in this second quarter were all threes. And another turnover from the Adelaide 36ers.
Adams pulls up. Couldn't make him pay. Kept alive again. Steindl, can he make them pay? No, he can't. Turnovers for Adelaide and three-point shooting, now 3 of 18 from the JackJumpers, allowing opportunities for their opposition.
Adelaide already have 9 turnovers in the half.
Feels unders as well from what we've seen. Hannes.
Way to turn the corner. Dusty Hannes there. A little rub screen. He got downhill, and the patience to stop on a dime, get up into your floater. and knock it down. And so Jack Jumpers could hit a couple more threes. That man's going to keep shooting them, and why not? Up to 15 points now, Clint Steindl. That's the only thing that's really helping the Adelaide 36ers keep this little buffer. They've turned it over, struggling to get an offensive set going, but the Jack Jumpers 4 of 18 from downtown.
Fantastic first half Clint Steindl is having.
No good.
Jack Jumpers doing a great job finding him. On the other end, Adelaide, how do you keep losing him? How is he continuously in this same half getting all of these open looks?
Well, it's too late now because this is a man that doesn't need any space to turn the corner. The way he sets his feet, he is an absolute pro at knowing his role. When he is coming off any sort of screen, he gets his footwork perfectly every single time. If you are a millisecond late, he is turning into that three ball, and even if you heavily contest it, if he's feeling good, it's going down, and it comes back to the first play as soon as he steps onto the floor. We'll look at it at halftime because Mojave King just lost him for a second. He got an open three ball. Now he's up to 15 points.
There's no better man to speak on this homicide than Peter Hawley, who knows what Mojave King's going through right now.
Man, tough when you're going in guarding a tough offensive player.
2 for 1 for the Jack Jumpers. They look to try and get it up.
Get a good one.
Now, here's Scott Roth saying get a good one. McVeigh talked the referee into it. He wants continuation.
No chance. That's on the floor.
I'd say he'll be dirty if it is. Mitch McCarron, who in the first quarter got waved away, and the referee, Julie, says, a little early there, Jack. $14 on the shot clock, 21 on the game clock. Only moments ago, we've seen the passion in the MyStay Bank Arena fans getting stuck into the referee. Oh, that was ambitious, to say the least. That's another poor turnover. So last shot of the half will be to 36 as Mitch McCarron will orchestrate it. McCarron fades away. No good. Tough end of the half. The lead was 14. At a point in that second quarter, the lead is now 8. At halftime is Adelaide 36ers trying to get their first win of NBL22. The Jack Jumpers trying to continue their momentum after their big opener and big win last Friday night. John Casey's courtside.
Thanks, Cam. I've got Dusty Hannahs here with me. Dusty, that's the Dusty Hannahs we expected to see. You've had to adjust your game a little bit, though. Haven't taken a 3 so far, but you're getting points on the board.
Yeah, you know, I've had a good preseason, but that doesn't count. The 2 regular season games, I felt like I let my teammates down. I let the people that believe in me down, and that doesn't sit good with me. So I'm just out here battling. I'm not worried about numbers. I'm not worried about that. I just want to win, and I want my guys to have fun out there doing it and, you know, want to help us win.
I saw you shoot around this morning, and again during warm-ups, you knocked down countless threes back-to-back, but you put it away tonight. Is that going to stay, or are you going to bring it out later?
No, I mean, it's just taking what the defense gives me, you know. I'm not a guy that's going to force up threes just because that's what I do. I'm a basketball player, so, you know, whatever the defense brings and whatever helps my team, if that's floor spacing, that's what I'm going to do.
Appreciate your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Dusty Hannahs there, the Adelaide 36ers, well, at the moment enjoying an 8-point advantage. 42-34. Dusty Hannahs in double figures. Clint Steindl also in double figures for the Jack Jumpers. We'll have more for you from MyState Bank Arena here in Hobart in just a moment. Welcome back to My State Bank Arena here in Hobart. Half-time between the JackJumpers and the 36ers. And Adelaide, looking for their first win of the season, have opened up an 8-point advantage. They led by 3 at quarter time and now by 8 at the major break. And they've still got some turnover problems, but Anthony, sure, right now at the moment, I think it's the JackJumpers who have got the problems. You told me pre-game that Clint Steindl was going to light it up tonight. How did you predict that?
Well, I think if you look at the team with the backcourt with Adams and Majette, they're going to take so much attention. It had to be someone else, and the X factor tonight for me was Clint Steindl.
And that backcourt is struggling at the moment. They were so productive into opening night, but not so far tonight.
No, look, it's going to be different every night. I think the guys, they require a lot of attention, and it really takes them out of their game a little bit. And other guys have to step up. And I think tonight, if they can knock some shots down in that second half, we're going to be right back in it.
Now, from Adelaide's point of view, the turnovers are still an issue in double figures again here at half-time. How do you tighten that up when things aren't just gelling?
Yeah, look, I think they're doing a pretty good job. I think they've come here ready to play. They know how important it is to get a win on the board, and CJ would be all over that. So, hey, they're looking pretty good. It's going to be a great game. Second half, I can't wait.
JackJumpers, what do they adjust to get back in this?
They just got to knock down shots. They're a team that's going to play up the floor. They're going to play disruptive. Defense is their key. If they can knock down these threes, anything could happen.
There you go. He isn't giving up just yet, boys.
He most certainly isn't, Anthony Stewart. John Casey, thank you. As we have a look at the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights, because there has been, for some of the turnovers and some of the missed shots, as we've just alluded to there, the fact is there's been some highlights, and well, we'll get to this man a little bit deeper in the show. Jack McVeigh, who brings so much, but look, Hannah's has been able to play much different. Isaac Humphries above the rim. Two teams that when they get up and get going, they're very fun to watch, Pete Hawley.
Well, they are, and when the turnovers weren't there, when you get through offense to get the right ball in the right places, good things happen. And the JackJumpers, I think it was just more about their shot selection. They were 2 of 5 from 3 in the first quarter. One of those was the McVeigh one you saw wide open. That's better. When you're attacking the rim, making the extra pass, that's what's going to really make Scott Roth happy. But in terms of offense, when you're struggling, as I said, 2 of 5 in the first quarter from 3. They were 2 of 13, and they shot 10 threes in a row to start the second quarter. When you're not making them, you've got to go to something else. Thankfully for Clint Steindl, he's got the 15 points. Jack McVeigh has the 5. If you take Clint Steindl's stats right now away from the JackJumpers, they're 7 of 26 from the field. That is a really tough night. You've got to get more guys going. They need to get Adams going. They need to get Majette going. But they ultimately need more variety in their offense.
And there we go. You look at some of the stats there. It has been scrappy turnovers, as Case and Stewie spoke about as well. The Adelaide 36ers had the issue last week. It's continued with 10 in the first half here. But I want to get to you, Homicide, because Dusty Hannahs is a man who is really good in the preseason. He comes with a huge reputation. Have you liked the way he's gone about it, even though he hasn't yet taken a 3?
You know, I really do like the way he went about it, because they're taking away the three-point shot from him, making him a penetrator, and he's done a really good job. He's been selective when he went to the basket. He's 2 for 2. 10 points, and he's 6 for 6 from the free throw line. So he's finding ways to score without killing these opponents from the land of plenty. So I do like the fact that he's able to still get his and be effective and not shot a 3 yet.
All right. Do they need to get him more shots?
No, I think the pace is good enough for where he's at. What they need to do is stop turning the damn ball over.
Well, and
that's what they need to do, and find Clint Steindl, if you are an Adelaide fan.
On cue, Clint Steindl, because he came straight off the bench. He's done this over his whole career, Pete Hawley, but he comes off the bench. You told us they run a play for him straight up. There it is, and it was nothing but twine, and away he went.
Well, that's exactly right. And in the play we highlighted, Mojave King turned his head for a second. You can't do that when he checks into the game. Every single time, as you said, for his career, they run a play for him, and once he knocks down one, he'll get a couple up early, even if he misses the first one. Everything starts feeling good. He's 6 of 9 from the field. He's got 15 points. And any time Clint Steindl knocks down a couple, that's what happens. He comes off, his feet are so perfectly set that you see his shot chart, all thanks to SodaStream. But look at that's his little corner. That's where they run him to, off some staggers, off some down screens. Those are the plays that you have to try and run him off and hope that you have some help behind you. But it's harder to do once you've got him going, and he's been going right now. And the only thing that might be able to cool him down is halftime. So hopefully for the JackJumpers, because right now he's the only one doing anything on the offensive end.
It was a 14-point lead halfway through the second quarter for the 36ers. It got back to 5. We're settled at 8 after 20 minutes. But as you can see, we're only moments away from a big third quarter. Don't go anywhere. My State Bank Arena, the 36ers and the JackJumpers next. First half in the books, 8-point lead for the Adelaide 36ers. Dusty Hannahs, he's got 10. Clint Steindl, he's got 15 for the JackJumpers. That man, Pete Hall, has been a little cold in the first half.
Well, he has got the 2 points from the free throw line, 0 of 7 from the field, and we spoke about halftime potentially being a bad thing to come for Clint Steindl because he's hot. Can be a great thing for the likes of Josh Adam. Completely reset, whole new ball game right now, come out firing. Trying to take a leaf out of Dusty Hannah's book, trying to get downhill, get back to the line, put the pressure on the defense. He's athletic enough to do that. We saw him try and set off that transition three. It's going to be a tough way to try and get your night going.
He ain't a little cold. He's ice cold, 0 for 7. But we know he can get it going just like that.
Back to the starting 5 for the JackJumpers, including this man, Sam McDaniel, who picked up 2 early fouls and played limited minutes. McDaniel, tough shot. Great follow-up by the man who brings the energy, Jack McVeigh.
And you know you got to find a body to box him out with because that's exactly how he'll kill you. It's crashing the boards.
Withers, McCarron, this man Humphries, Johnson and Hannah, same as 5 for Adelaide as well as they started the contest. Great move. Daniel Johnson, slow spin, does what he wants. methodically lays it up with the left.
Well, this can be a game where you do throw it down to Daniel Johnson a lot. Run plays, maybe get the ball through hands, but get the ball to Daniel Johnson where he can be successful. He's going to have that mismatch height-wise, but Jet gets the and-one opportunity here. Mitch McCarron looks a bit bewildered, but foul call gets to go to the line. But Daniel Johnson versus Jack McVeigh, we saw it a couple of times in the first half. He's unguardable with his back to the basket. His ability to hit the fadeaway, and Mitch McCarron just trying to go for the little hand in the cookie jar from behind. Josh Majette does that extremely well. Just feels a bit of contact, stops, and rises up.
Josh Majette in this game is 2 of 6. Josh Adams 0 of 7 combined, 2 of 13. I expect those numbers to turn around and get nothing but better in this second half for this team to have a chance to win.
Hannah's first three-point attempt, little short, falls into the hand of McCarron. A little surprised, but he puts it up and in.
Well, Mitch McCarron doesn't mind the post up himself, but the ball just fell in his lap. I think Josh Majette expected Dusty Hannah to at least be long on the three, but he was well short and just fell straight to Mitch McCarron.
6 points, 5 boards for the Ray Borna medalist. Here is Majette. More aggression. That's where you wanted Homicide. He knocks it down. 5 quick points to start the third.
I mean, we all know just the little sample size that we've seen by this team, and I'm talking in the first game. This team goes as that backcourt goes.
Stay solid. Stay solid.
Good start from Majette in his third quarter.
And it's great pass. Johnson, great roll. And one. Takes a little bit bump. And he'll try and get through the old-fashioned way.
That's great from Dusty Hannah. Just turning the corner, getting downhill. And Will Magnay looking to score off. He's like, can I get a challenge, coach? But you see there. And,
oh, yeah, he caught him with that right hand.
Caught him with the elbow there. And Will Magnay
one shot.
Talking to the referee, but he's not the one who initiates the challenge. You've got to talk to your head coach, big fella.
Strategic play, the coach's challenge. You don't want to burn one when you might need it in the last minute or two, but
I don't think it would have been overturned there.
Not a chance.
There was some contact there, but Josh Majette, this is the way that he can help Josh Adams get involved. Take the pressure off him on the scoreboard by him being more aggressive. Let someone else tick the scoreboard over so Josh Adams can let the game come to him and he can start to find his feet.
McDaniel got it.
The one thing I like about McDaniel's game, other than his outstanding man-to-man defense, is his ability to knock down that mid-range jump shot.
Weak side.
That's how we started this franchise.
Stay solid.
Last Friday night.
Stay square. Scared.
Big part of last year's Melbourne United championship winning team.
3 seconds. Still
Johnson, McVeigh, kick out, McCarron. Nearly bought rain as the shot clock expired in the background, and 3 JackJumpers in their eagerness to crush the defensive board, knock it out of court.
That's what I was talking about. Get the ball down on the block to Daniel Johnson versus Jack McVeigh, and all heads turned, especially Josh Majette, who dug down extremely hard on Daniel Johnson, who kicked it back to Mitch McCarron, and he tries to get a little veteran thing, and there's an unsportsmanlike foul on Dusty Hannah's. Josh Majette read that out-of-bounds play like a book, and Dusty Hannah's just tried to jump in the way, and they're going to have a review of it. All unsportsmanlike fouls are reviewed, so you don't have to challenge it. I believe they're unchallengeable, just regular fouls.
They aren't.
So you can't challenge it, but they all get reviewed straight away. So Dusty Hannah's trying to do a bit of a veteran thing. He's got his hands up, but the issue is,
Is it a clear path?
He's going to be on the way. Isaac Humphries does well where he is.
Oh, that's close.
It is going to be close. So you see Isaac Humphries, you talk about clear path foul. Who's in front of Dusty Hannah's and Josh Majette? Isaac Humphries knows this is going to be a fast break. He does well to try and take off in his first couple of steps. And you can hear Michael, he's looking exactly where Isaac Humphries is. And this is where we kind of need the English Premier League VAR line to draw straight through.
Oh, yeah, that works so well.
Try and find out where it is.
Normal foul.
Normal
foul.
foul.
On Hannah's 3, player ahead
So
of
the big
ball.
thing,
I'm not certain how many times Isaac Humphries has been patted on the back for his speed,
that's
but
what
it worked there.
Exactly right. So to break it down, that's what happened there. If Isaac Humphries is a couple steps behind the play, it's a clear path foul, no matter if the contact is incidental or because you're slowing down a fast break. As soon as Isaac Humphries took off, Letter of the law, it's a common foul. Well done to Isaac Humphries.
And that, I think, is what a lot of people missed last Friday night with the Nathan Sobey situation. Now, if it's a foul, you can argue if it's a foul or not, but the fact is that when the foul was called, it's a clear path, which in turn is an unsportsmanlike foul.
It is, and we know what happened after that for the Nathan Sobey situation, but it was reviewed straight away and it would have been explained to him, and I'm sure CJ Bruton could have had another conversation about that.
Hannahs. Johnson, 3, long. Another opportunity. First one a rangefinder, second one off the iron as well. Now they'll push. Here's Adams. Slow start for him behind the back. McDaniel checks the feet. Well, this joint is ready to explode. They stay in the seats there, though. The lead stays at 3. If you are just joining us, firstly, where have you been? Secondly, 14-point lead for the 36ers in the second quarter. It's down to 3. Humphries spins left hand.
And
I
was wondering, who was that? Humphries or Bairstow that just scored?
That was Humphries over
That was Humphries. And I was wondering, when is Humphries going to get a touch in this quarter? It's only up to 4 points. It's 6 points now, but he had 4 points in the game. He's healthy, ready to go. He needs to see more of the ball.
We saw how good he was last year before getting injured, Isaac Humphries. And a lot of it was the play between him, Josh Giddey, and Daniel Johnson. It was the way those three worked together. Now you've got a different type of lineup. CJ Bruton putting in some other things here to try and get the offense clicking over. He's just still trying to find out where's the best way he fits into the offense. You've got a different point guard. Mitch McCarron and Josh Giddey have some similarities in terms of how they get players open. But you've got Cam Bairstow, another one that you've got to figure out how you play alongside. And it's going to take a little time for Isaac Humphries, because when he was injured, at the time he got injured last year, he was a leading MVP candidate and defensive
player of the year.
So he's trying to get back to that, and it's hard to do when you set such a big precedent for what we expect from you. It's always going to have that little bit of pressure in the back of your mind.
And what they did really well, though, Adelaide, to make it even easier, when you've got a new coach and a new system and a player or two to fit in, you go and get a point guard like Mitch McCarron, who's similar to Josh Giddey, and is a pass-first, unselfish point guard. So the system can organically, not 100%, but it flows in a similar way. And once they get comfortable, you're going to see that. That's what we seen last year when Isaac Humphries finally got on the court after a delayed start, how comfortable he got, and all of a sudden he became that beast that we know he can be. Here is McCarron. Couldn't nail it. Bairstow runs it down. Here's Adams. Looking to get going. Just pushes off. Handed a cookie jar. Might have been McCarron the last second. Adams, none of 7 from the field. 0-4 from the three-point line as well. He's got 4 rebounds. Couple of assists. He's got 3 turnovers. And
I tell you this, a guy like that, you just got to let him play like he's playing. Some of the play will be forced action. Some of the play will be through a set. But that's the type of player that he is. You just have to let him go and force some of the action, because as you see, that was a forced action. And he gets to the line for 2, but they have to find a way to get him going if they want a chance to win this game. He plays such a huge role offensively for them. 20 points in game 1.
4 points tonight, all from the foul line, but you're right. Little freelance, he forced it, he took it upon himself there and got himself to the line.
And Adelaide did a good job by putting a bigger defensive player on him. Withers is guarding. Withers is about 6'9", 6'8".
He takes a seat. Steindl led all scorers in the first half. Here's Bairstow. Great kick-out pass. Withers keeps it alive. Good move.
Great pickup for the 36ers, Todd Withers, from what we've seen over round 1 and tonight. And we know he has feeling a little bit of cramp, which he sustained very early in this one, but he's back out there, can shoot the 3-ball. As you said, a really long, athletic defender can really be disruptive down this end for the Sixers.
Jet. Shot clock at 5, trying to find a rolling Bairstow, couldn't. And a turnover for the JackJumpers. That'll be their 9th.
Back to what you were just saying about a defender, and we have a timeout or a sub. But before that play happens, Withers can guard a 6'2", 6'1". He can guard the perimeter.
We got 1 through 5.
And that's what's making it extremely difficult for Josh Adams to get off. That length and athleticism. It's hard to score on and hard to pass.
They break the press too easy. It leads to a Bairstow reverse layup. A couple of Jack Jumpers body and reach in and send him to the foul line. But if you're going to press beat Hawley, you've got to make sure you slow him down, because in the end, that's too easy the way they break it down.
Well, it was, but credit to the Sixers for getting the ball to Mojave King, who can take a couple of quick steps with his athleticism and not let the defense catch up. And I'm wondering if Scott Roth just pre-game as they're leading into this one saying to Jared Bairstow, look, I'm going to throw you out here against Cam, and you're going to do your thing. He did well in the first half to get on the offensive glass, try and give Cam Bairstow a bit of his own medicine. We talk about great pickups for the Sixers. I love seeing Cam Bairstow back healthy and having an impact with what we've seen over his career. It's just great to see. I'm glad they've given him a chance, and so far he's taken it. He's been a super signing for them.
Speaking of great pickup, have any one of you guys got that Hungry Jack's fried chicken sandwich yet?
Not yet.
Seen them commercials. It looks good.
Yeah, it does look real good. I might grab one tonight. Of course, the Adelaide 36ers miss a couple of freebies. Bairstow no good there. Over Bairstow, and now it's going to be Majette. Surveying the options, chooses McIntosh, he turns down the three, aggressively puts it on the ground, and he's able to get it going as well. Was hampered by foul trouble last week, fouled out in limited minutes, but if he can bring a little bit, his first bucket of the night, all of a sudden, his 5-point lead.
Well, Kyle McIntosh, there's no doubt that is weighing in his mind, the foul trouble that he's been getting in as Mitch McCarron tries to take Sam McDaniel off the dribble. And hey, Malou again likes that left corner. Hit one from the other side of the court, the same corner to start the game. But back to McIntosh. Fouled out twice in the blitz and his first game in just 17 minutes. So he's definitely aware of that. He's trying to stay out of that kind of trouble so that Scott Roth can keep him out there a bit longer. But another one very similar to Withers in terms of the biggest size, can guard 1 through 5 on switches, and has the ability to knock down a 3-ball as well.
Mojave King picks up his first.
Two timely 3-point corner ball shots by Malou. I heard a lot about him a couple of years ago playing in NBL1, how good of a player that he was. So it's good to see him on the court in the big leagues, getting minutes, quality minutes. NBL1 league is tough.
It's real tough. Bigger and better again next year as well, right across the country, and players like this young man, Sammy Daniel, who plays in it, can continue to work on their game in a tough environment. We've seen Lamar Patterson, Scotty Machado, these type of players playing in the league.
Yeah.
Sam McDaniel is the perfect example for all those Tasmanian young fans of be elite in your role, be a star in your role at any level. It's a turnover here again from the Sixers, and McIntosh gets upstairs, but Sam McDaniel worked his way into a championship-winning team by locking in on defense as a development player, getting the trust from your head coach of, I'm going to throw you out there in big decisions.
Looked like another turnover, couldn't get it. Didn't just force himself in, Pete. A starter on a championship team. Bairstow loses it again. 13 turnovers for the 36ers, and if CJ Bruton had any hair, he'd be yanking it out, because it is giving the JackJumpers opportunity after opportunity, just like this.
Look, I can't continue to see this and not say what it is.
Well, then say it.
Pressure Adelaide 36ers, they're going to crumble.
Well,
they cannot take care of the ball.
Well, you're exactly right. We've seen them with the pressure.
We saw this.
But Daniel Johnson ran straight into Dufemire there. There's no doubt they've had a lot of...
Oh, my goodness.
That one there was just a comedy of errors. And then Cam Bairstow caught one of the biggest flat tires we've seen in semi-transition.
Next play!
Anyway, back to NBL1. It's great to see the NBL1 players that do extremely well there get opportunity to the NBL.
Here's another one on cue. Dufemire. As Weeks blatantly looks like he fouls Todd Withers. Also, I wanted to point out just moments ago, jump ball, possession arrow to the 36ers. Bring back the jump ball. Every year I ask for it. Leave it in juniors, bring it back at seniors.
Well, we saw one, didn't we? Last week, if there is a challenge and it is successful, then if the play is in dispute, no one has possession, we will get the jump ball.
King, 3, net.
We talked about this earlier in the week.
We did on overtime.
And he is showing right now that he belongs.
And CJ Bruton, or whoever it might be, I'm going to say CJ being the head coach, as Stein on the other end, can't hit it, has been able to instill that confidence that he lost last year, for whatever reason, been able to instill it off the tip of this year to say, we believe in you. Look at this. He just dumps it off to Humphries, who misses it. So he has not lost any of that aggressiveness and that confidence to believe in himself, and that's not always easy to do.
It's important for you to believe in yourself, but it's just as important for your coach to believe in you and give you the opportunity. So it's great to see him early in the season. Obviously, it's round 2, but him getting on the court and taking advantage of it.
We saw it last year. We know Cairns Taipan struggles overall, and Mojave King trying to find his place in that, and then a lot of it came from the shoulders up of worrying about, well, if I'm not doing certain things, if I make a mistake, then my time's going to be limited. You get brought down to the 36ers, they're basically saying that, so we're going to give you this chance. We want you to be this player that we've seen flashes of. The rest is up to you. You're going to have the chance, and he's got to come and deliver. Right now, he's done well tonight. He's 3 of 5 from the field, 9 points. He's also got 3 assists. I think he's making some really good decisions tonight. But another one that when things are drying up, or maybe you're not ticking the scoreboard over, you can be a menace defensively. You're extremely long, you're athletic. When likes of, we talk about Clint Steiner, the mistake he made in the first quarter, you can really lock up and not let guys touch the ball. That's some way that CJ Bruton can also trust you when you're out on the floor.
Into the last 90 seconds, lead back to 5. Here is King. Shlokok down to 8. Hannes wants to take it a Weeks. Does exactly that. Sorry, Dufemeyer, not Hannes. Dufemeyer.
It's a tough take under pressure. Good finish.
He knows this state particularly well, as Pete Hooley mentioned earlier.
He knows his floor very well.
Does. One of the most athletic guards in the NBL. Very bad pass. Ends in the hand of Humphries. 10 turnovers themselves tonight. Tasmania. Here's Dufemeyer. Too easy in the air. Just rolls on like he's spending a Sunday arvo in the backyard.
Well, Scott Roth yelling from the sideline, help, help. Jock Perry, the 7-footer, out on an island with, as you said, one of the most athletic guards we have, Tad Dufemeyer, just waltzed straight past him for the open layup.
Steindl, 15 in the first half. McIntosh, oh, double team. You probably don't leave that guy. They get away with one there. Let's go to Adelaide. Kenyon couldn't get it. Malou was there as well, battling for it, and now a chance. Late to get back into double figures.
Here we go here. Tad Dufemeyer bringing the play, doing the right thing, getting the big fella, Jock Perry, into the ball screen action, getting downhill. That was the first one. And the second one just blew straight by him. Got it, because once he gets the first one, he realizes what happens. Next one gets downhill.
The second one was just as easy. It's copy and paste, and that's how Dufemeyer's had the last 4 points. About a minute between the shot and game clock here. Here is Dufemeyer. 3 on the shot. They're going to have to get it up. Mojave King knows it, gets it. Takes a little bump. He's earned himself a couple of freebies as well.
He's fouled in the act of shooting. That was a bad foul. He was slightly out of control. You can see in this replay.
Scott Roth saying, how'd you see it over there? And
he got him on the arm going up. Made the contact right there.
Look, that's a foul. But there is a coach's challenge available.
That's what I was trying to get to. If you really don't think it is, and you throw it out there, that's why it's there.
You guys must have been studying.
I'll tell you what it is. Now that you keep your challenge, once coaches start using it, there's going to be a bit of banter back and forth of who's got the best strike rate. Lava King, we've been singing his praises. He's got a chance to feed the Tassie locals.
Burger time.
Never in doubt.
Breaks their hearts. Leads 10, 2.1 on the clock. McIntosh! No good. Leaders 10. Adelaide 36ers looking for their first W of NBL22. Well, the JackJumpers, can they do it in front of a Doring packed out crowd? Let's find out on the other side of this. Three quarters in the books. 10-point lead for the 36ers, looking for their first win of NBL22. Majet doing his business. That man, Josh Adams, has an opportunity to have a big last quarter. Turnovers have allowed the JackJumpers to get some easy buckets like that. But it's a double-figure lead for CJ Bruton's men into the last 10 minutes, Pete Hawley.
Well, the big question mark we're going to always have is if Josh Adams and Josh Majet, Josh Adams in particular is struggling to score, great offensive set. That's exactly what I was about to say, is their offense has to be better structured to get certain guys the ball in certain places. Brilliant out-of-bounds execution to start this quarter, but as we said, when you don't have the guys who are one-on-one scorers like Josh Adams filling it up, your offense has to be that much more specific and particular to tick the scoreboard over. We haven't seen that for the majority of tonight. And on the other end...
And your defense needs to be legit, and it wasn't right there. He goes to the basket for an easy two.
McIntosh, Kenyon, Majet, Magnay and Steindl for the JackJumpers. McCarron, who scored there. Malou, Johnson, Humphries and Mojave King. McIntosh, great dump off. Magnay couldn't finish it, his King. Well, Mojave. We spoke about his confidence and his aggressiveness. Just bit off a little more than he could chew in that particular situation. And again, turnovers, giving opportunities to the JackJumpers.
Here's the opening play of the second half. The best part about this is it's designed because everyone's worried about Clint Steindl shooting the three. That's Scott Roth knowing exactly what type of personnel he has out there, how they're defending him. So Manny Malou's locking in, not letting him get the three. And they ran the same play the second time down, trying to get him to get the three back at the top of the key. They blew it up the right way, but excellent offensive execution. And they do it down this end as Majet just steadies for, I believe that's what we call that a free throw in live play.
11 points for Majet, back to 8. 43% from the field for the JackJumpers, who shot 29% for the first quarter and a half. They're staying around. Daniel Johnson wants to change that. And he'll need to do it from 15 foot after it rattles off the rim.
CDJ has a clear mismatch height advantage.
He's just so crafty at that, Daniel Johnson. McIntosh thing is saying, I didn't do a whole lot wrong. But Daniel Johnson has done it for 12 years in the Adelaide 36ers jersey.
He looks so bored. He looks So unimpressed with what's going on.
Because he knows when it comes down to a one-on-one, he's not many that can guard him in terms of his ability to draw those fouls. He's got the quickest slow step you've ever seen, and that you might think like that sounds ridiculous to say, but if you watch it, he's just so methodical about the way he goes about it and has so many different ways to get his shot off.
9 points for DJ. Will Magnay, not a great deal of shots. Tonight, only a couple of rebounds as well. Did I need to get him more involved, Homicide?
Of course. You have to get him fully involved. They're non-existent the whole game.
McIntosh for 3. What do? Is it pick and roll? Do you roll it in the post? How do you do it?
You got to roll it in the post. You're doing pick and roll, but he's not getting the touches. Just got to drop it in the post and see what can he create one-on-one.
That's a foul.
Got to get him the touches.
I'm not sure if that is the best place for him to be successful, rolling it in.
I mean, he ain't get the ball all night.
But we see it in the blitz. They ran those back screen lob plays for him to try and get open. But a lot of it is him getting those, just the pick and rolls and getting in the right spots for dump-off passes. They really haven't done that tonight.
They've done it, and Josh Majette has shot the ball because they're not giving him that play. So what you got to do is let him get a touch.
Well,
he's not even getting a touch.
And it just happened there. Put him in an on-ball, and Majette put it up as Daniel Johnson goes the other end. He may still look unimpressed, but he's impressive. He knocks it down. Feels like we've seen that story a million times. He's got 12. The leader's 13. And it's time for the JackJumpers and this joint to start rocking to get him back into this. Steindl. Got it. Right on cue. 15 points in the first half for Clint Steindl, who's got 22. Game high scorer, and that leads back to 10.
Just keep running offensive sets. Run it through him.
And this is the type of play that can work out now, is you run the little stagger screen or get Clint Steindl off something. Let Will Magnay be the last screener. You see Daniel Johnson, another one. He just knocked down a couple free throws, get him a play, but let Will Magnay be the last screener so that if you run a couple of other screens, Will Magnay can dive towards the rim and he's going to get a wide open dunk because everybody's worried about where Clint Steindl's going. It's those type of plays that Scott Roth have to try and tinker with to get Magnay involved on the offensive end.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Said, except, as Homicide pointed out, they are putting him in some of that action and he ain't getting it. Turnover again for Adelaide. Now this man has to lift as well. Adams. McDaniel, here is Adams. McDaniel around Mesto, left hand, gets it. Last 5 points, all for Tasmania. That lead is 8. 6.5 minutes to go at my State Bank Arena.
Great recognition from Sam McDaniel. Had the big fella Cam Bairstow mismatch, didn't settle, got downhill. Can they get a stop here as Daniel Johnson? That's what I'm talking about. The quickest, slowest step you've ever seen. Just slowly waltzes this way. But so he's up to 14 points now, and I'm glad McDaniel scored on the play before because both Majette and Josh Adams had layups that they turned down.
McVeigh. Withers goes down. He goes straight at Johnson. Takes the little bump, kisses it off the window, and says to the crowd, "Let's get hyped."
And that is a beautiful take. It looked as if it may have been a charge. Keeps his dribble and his composure. You can see right here, it looks like it could have been a charge, but he keeps composure. Goes to the rack, finishes with the left hand. Goes to the charity stripe for 3 the hard way.
Well, he's been given a flop warning on that.
So, McVeigh hits it. There doesn't have to be a flop warning or a charge called every time there's contact, and I think that's a perfect example. I think that was great defense. I don't think it was an offensive foul necessarily, but it just played through it, and you don't need to give him a flop warning because if he did fall down, you know what happened? He gave his team away 3 points.
Yep.
So you don't necessarily have to call it. Johnson, turnover, is it? It is. That was McDaniel. Here's McVeigh.
No, that's going up.
And again, little jump hook, couldn't get it to go.
Well, he tried the first time, Jack McVeigh. When you got the offensive rebound, I know you might have the height mismatch over Mitch McCarron. Mitch McCarron's an elite guard defender of the post. So kick that back out, get a good set, because you got the turnover. Last thing you want is this to go down, because this will hurt. There you go.
McCarron, the fouls. You grab Magnay. John Casey courtside. Case, what do you got?
Yeah, Cam, look,
Daniel Johnson's picked up his 4th personal foul, and they're playing a little bit of fire here, leaving him out there at the moment. We just saw him dive on a loose ball, and he's close to picking up his 5th. But the other thing, at three-quarter time, Mitch McCarron had 0 assists in the game. And, I mean, obviously they need a little bit more out of him.
Well, we were talking last week about Mitch McCarron being that pass-first point guard.
7-point lead for the 36ers. CJ Bruton talking to his charges, as you were saying, Pete.
Well, Mitch McCarron, we know he's going to be a pass-first point guard, but a lot of the reason right now is the guys he's passing to are putting the ball on the floor. Dusty Hannahs has only taken the 1-3. So as soon as he's getting the ball, he's putting the ball on the floor and attacking. Other guys, Daniel Johnson just hit that 3-ball. No one else has really ran that offensive set, and they've turned the ball over a lot as well, which hasn't helped his cause.
14 points for Daniel Johnson, 7 in his quarter as well. He's a man who knows how to step up. And that last play, we spoke so much about it, Hulls. He did it on Jack McVeigh. If there's someone on this court who should know exactly what Daniel Johnson's going to do, it should be Jack McVeigh.
Rebounding foul on McCarron.
Just over 5 minutes. 7-point lead. Jack Jumper ball. Trying to go 2-0. 36ers trying to win their first game of the season after a rough opening weekend. Withers reaches in. Gets Adam. That man, Josh Adams, 20 points last week. Tonight only got the 4 all from the free throw line. 0-7. From the field. That includes 4 3-point attempts. But he's a type of player.
In his last 5 minutes, he can get hot. Stay in your seats, JackJumpers fans. This ain't over.
Jet poked away by McCarron into the hands of Withers. Back to McCarron. Oh!
Good block.
Now, they could see it here. This could very well be a challenge.
Now you challenge that.
Scott Roth might be having a quick conversation with Josh Adams. He is upset, but everyone's aware. He's lucky that was let go, because that could have been an unsportsmanlike foul, and they got him on the wrist. That's why he's just a little upset, thinking would have got away with one if that wasn't called. Credit the chase down. Looked like he had no right to get there.
Great hustle.
This is what we talk about the JackJumpers. They've set a tone and expectation in the first game with their effort and energy on defense. That's what got the Nest hype. We're going with the Nest.
We are.
You had Will Magnay dive on the floor. Everybody started to feel that enjoyment. Everyone, the excitement of getting the game back to 7 points. McVeigh missed that offensive rebound put back. They need that defensive intensity to lift, get the crowd going along with them, and get back in this one.
8-point lead, no burgers yet, as Mitch McCarron hits the back end of the freebies. Adams.
And that's a great take. Head down and attacking Withers. He goes to the line for 2.
Case courtside.
4th personal foul on Tom Withers as well, and 4th team foul on Adelaide in this quarter. In that previous timeout, the belief that I saw in Adelaide's timeouts earlier in the game, it wasn't there. You have to wonder about a team that's dropped 2 games to start the season, and they're nervous about this. They've controlled the game largely, had it on their terms, but right now, well, it's up for grabs.
Bang! Adams for 3, breaks the duck, the lead is 5. And what a time homicide.
We just talked about it. This is a guy that can get hot in the last 5 minutes and change the trajectory of this game. Keep an eye on that matchup.
And the point that John Casey just made, Halls, zipping 2, is the belief there yet? We're about to find out. Ugly set, and a turn. No, tipped away. Majet tries to go upstairs. No luck.
How much time on the clock?
4 minutes.
Well, we're going to have a quick look at this.
Shot clock.
Shot clock.
Might be getting looked at that exact thing. And what Case spoke about is right. If the Sixers didn't turn the ball over as many times, obviously, but at crucial times, this game could have been 15 to 20 points, and it could have been over. They turned the ball over too much overall, 14 of them, but at crucial times, none more so than a couple minutes back where they ran into each other.
Elbow hits, pin downs, a good action, right? Playing out of wide. On this end out of bounds right now, I want DJ, you're here. Bearstow, you're up top. And then you're going off DJ, you're going this way here. Todd, you're screening for Dusty. Mackie, you're inbound on the ball. Screen here, and it's a lob at the front of the net. So just jump to the end. Go to the front of the net. Yep. So this is why you go here, and then we're going to get back.
You asked homicide, 1.2 on the shot clock. Baseline ball for the 36ers.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say something.
Well, it's going to be a prediction because you wouldn't make one pre-game, so I'd like one.
This game would be won or lost on Josh Adams' back. Withers has 4 fouls. And the next foul for Adelaide's in the penalty. This is a perfect time for a guy that's been quiet all game to come alive and active.
Withers, Johnson, both 4 fouls, both on the court. CJ Bruton putting trust in 2 of his main men.
Watch anything underneath the hoop. I might try and run something for Dusty Hannahs for a 3, but potentially a Todd Withers quick little step back door on the unsuspecting player.
Lobs it. Withers took his time. Made it work.
Well, there you go. Just what I said, Todd Withers. A little cut to get inside, and Mitch McCarron doing the right thing, throwing it up to the bigger man on Josh Adams.
And now they go to the line for 2 because they're in the penalty.
And it is on Todd Withers, who will now
foul out and have a seat for the last
pickle juice.
3 minutes and 46 seconds. And I guarantee you, watch who comes alive right now.
9 points, 3 boards on the night for Todd Withers, who went to the locker room in the first quarter with cramp, comes back, fouls out, hit the road jack, hasn't got to Tasmania yet. Didn't hear it, first time in an NBL game for 30 years. I haven't heard hit the road jack after an opposition player fouls out. Magnay hits the second. The lead is 6, and we are set for a huge finish on a Thursday night in Tasmania.
Credit the great job defensively, individually, Withers has done on Josh Adams.
You mentioned Adams. Hannahs hasn't scored in the second half either. Here's Malou, he's been great. Johnson, big fourth quarter so far, couldn't hit it. Majet knocks it, and it's saved to Adams. He throws it off the leg and flexes.
Look, I've been at times harassed by tough defenders. You go up another level when you know they fouled out and you're still on the court. I'm telling you, Adams is about to take this game over.
His team has a 6-point deficit. He's had a tough night, as we've spoken about, 1 of 8 from the field. Here's his backcourt partner, Majet. He pulls up over Humphries. That was short.
Well, I'm shocked they didn't even go to him. As you talked about, Corey, Tom Withers has gone off. He's got Dusty Hannahs on him, and they sat him in the corner. He did not move that entire possession.
Hannahs 10 points in the first half. Yet to score in the second. No 3-pointer. Oh, and there we go, Adams. That's the size 11 Nike that just crept over the baseline.
How do you know his shoe size?
I don't, but I made it up and I sold it confidently. And now you've ruined the story.
You definitely sold it, because I believe.
I know. McCarron to inbound. Shot clock at 14. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
It's great defense.
Turnover number 15, Pete Hawley. An issue last week and an issue again tonight.
Credit the JackJumpers for lifting their defensive intensity, but the Adelaide 36ers, not a single screen was set to get anyone open. Everyone just stood there and kind of ran past each other. No one hit a body.
Adams. Got it!
Oh, my. Oh, my.
There's nobody else on the court that can guard him. Give him the ball and you win. Great play ran. Wide open. Bucket.
It's a 1-shot lead for the 36ers. They've led by 14. Malou. Shot clock at 8. Mitch McCarron. Guarded by Steindl. Gonna have to get it up. It's Malou. He's hit a couple. Not this time.
The defensive intensity has lifted from the JackJumpers. The crowd's into it now. That's what they needed to do. Got to get the ball back in Josh Adams' hand.
Steindl, big night. Tries to just bounce it to McNair. McNair, who wanted it more. Shot clock at 6. Here's Adams. Sizes up Malou. Steps back. Gets fouled. He'll go to the foul line for 3.
I'm telling you, keep putting the ball in that man's hands. Good things are going to happen. There's nobody that can guard him right now. Malou, super aggressive, didn't let him land. Now he goes to the line for 3.
There's no doubt that's a foul. And I tell you what, when Todd Withers picked up that foul, he was so frustrated with himself, but saying that I didn't touch the ball. I'm super surprised because of exactly what we've been speaking about. That wasn't even looked at, the challenge. Not only was he sending him to the free throw line, but it was his 5th foul, and he was the one who was trying to do his best to lock up. Josh Adams is doing a really good job so far in this game. That's why the challenge is there. And if you have a timeout to use, maybe that's the biggest thing you're worried about, is losing one. But instead you lose who was your best defender tonight, your best guard defender, and Josh Adams has got on a roll.
Got himself to the foul line early. He's 5 or 6 from the charity stripe. He's got 11. Those 2 threes have come in succession late. As that lead is down to 1. Is the belief there for the 36ers?
It's time for Dusty Hanna to step up. He's been quiet outside of the first quarter.
Right deep on the JackJumpers again. Now here's Hanna. Shot clock's at 1. He's got to let it fly. Whoa! That hit your first 3 of the season.
What a much-needed hit.
I don't think Dusty Hanna's thought his first 3 of the season would come in that fashion, but better late than never. Josh Adams tries to end the film.
Let's go. 1-point deficit.
2 quality point guards going head-to-head. Humphries. Hanna's again. Shot clock again into 3. Floated this time.
That's tough.
You wanted it homicide, and he delivered.
This is what I'm talking about. 2 big-time players stepping up when their team needs it the most.
Adams crosses over right at Humphries. Tries to force a foul. Can't get it. McVeigh, great deep on a 36ers.
Big stop.
Ooh, about 11-second differential. So if you get a stop, you'll get an attempt. As Mitch McCarron says, I'll control this.
3 seconds.
Johnson lobs it to Humphries. Can't get it.
Here we go. 2 weeks in a row. Surely not.
A shot and a chance to force overtime. Majette. Long. McDaniel. He's got to let it go. It's Majette. Oh, it's short. It's off. And the 36ers somehow, after controlling the game, have miraculously held on and win their first game of the year. And the first win for that man, CJ Bruton, as a head coach in the NBL.
Well, that's a way to answer your critics. Dusty Hanna's, when the game was on the line, that 3-ball and then the floater. Credit the JackJumpers for fighting back the way they did. That man was excellent down the stretch, but big-time win in the end. They had 2 good looks.
Down the stretch of a game, you want the best player to have the ball to make plays happen. Dusty Hanna showed up big. Great game on a Thursday. Great finish.
Great finish. Great game. 36ers controlled
Great finish.
it. Had double-figure leads in both the second and the fourth quarter. But you spoke about it, Halls. This JackJumper team laid the foundation last week with their intensity.
And it wasn't there for the majority of this game, but when the game was on the line, midway through the third quarter, they were diving on loose balls, they were ramping up the pressure. In the first half, all the turnovers from the Sixers were all just unforced errors. They changed it and they got back in this one, but the Sixers got over the line.
John Casey, courtside, take it away, Case.
Thanks, Cam. I've got CJ Bruton here. Congratulations, CJ. First win as a head coach in the National Basketball. It's one you won't forget for a while.
Definitely won. It wasn't our best performance, but definitely entertaining to watch.
Tell me, how did you manage to get across the line? What was the key in the end?
Well, I thought our ability to get 2 feet in the paint, we got some good kick-outs, some good looks. When they went small, obviously Magnay didn't get to play a whole lot, and then we were able to take advantage of them, but then they were able to stretch us from the perimeter. We broke down on some assignments throughout the game, and clearly it kept them in the ball game, and in the end it made it a ball game.
My heart rate's up. I don't know, how's your going at the moment? Because 0 and 3 would have been a lonely place.
It would have been, but it's not. So I don't think about that. I've got to keep moving forward. Clearly it's a long season. Happy to get a win, ready to go home and hopefully get another one.
Good luck on Sunday against the Breakers.
Thank you very much.
Well, how good for CJ Bruton, but credit the coach right there. Mr. Bruton was the one who backed his import, Dusty Hannah, said he is exactly who we want. We're going to back him to make big plays, and he did that tonight. And now he's our Foot Locker player of the game, and he's with the great man.
Thanks very much. But yeah, Dusty Hannes, that was an emotional result there. You came up big down the stretch, had to make some big shots.
Man, just like I said at halftime, I just want to be there for my teammates. I love these guys. You know, I'm away from home. They're my family away from home. So, you know, not performing those 2 games, that keeps me up at night. So to be able to come out here and help them get a win is monumental for me tonight.
13 up in the last quarter, appeared to have things under control, and then it started to unravel, the turnovers. You get nervous about that?
I mean, it's not an easing feeling, but you know, we stuck with it. We got stops. You know, we had some fouls down the stretch we can't make, and some turnovers, like you said. So it's just stuff we got to clean up and get ready for New Zealand on Sunday.
A real win, though, that you can build a platform from, though. You get a lot of belief out of that.
Say that again?
You'll get a lot of belief out of that. It's a win you can build on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the preseason doesn't count, but we took some heart to that and had a little slump there for a couple games. But, you know, building off this tonight and trying to, you know, finish strong this whole rest of the season is big for us.
Best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Dusty Hannah's our Foot Locker player of the game, and he was great. 10 points in the first half. You called for it homicide late. We'll get to that in a minute, but he had a pretty nice night considering how rough of a weekend he had last weekend.
You know what, and as he said, you know, he takes pride in stepping up and playing big, and it was sleepless nights, but he showed up today when his team needed it the most. Early in the game, they took away his three-point shooting ability, but this was the first 3 of the season, and it was the biggest three-point shot for the 36ers as well as himself, and this basket right here was the icing on the cake. Beautiful take, tough floater, and that was the nail in the coffin. Tough game. They got it done.
Zipping 2 coming in, led by 14 in the second, led by 13 in the fourth. This gutsy Tasmania team threw everything at them, but in the end, 36ers under CJ Bruton win the game. Tomorrow night, it continues. Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix, v New Zealand and Homicide. We cannot wait.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so fresh, I'm so raw.
Step back 3. I told you it's tries to shake and bake on mid-3. Hands it off for a jam from Galloway. Delaney. Okay. That's more nice play. Oh yeah, Galloway. The yank of Galloway underneath. Piss off. This is fun to watch.
And we had a ripper on a Thursday night, and here's the Hungry Jacks highlights, of which there were plenty. Isaac Humphries gets above the rim. This man was great. Pete Hooley. Clint Steindl was outstanding. Cam Bairstow doing Cam Bairstow things. We'll talk about Harvey King shortly because he was great the next half, not losing any confidence. But this was a really good game. Any game that comes down to the last possession is always great to watch, and tonight was no exception.
Well, credit two things. Credit Clint Steindl for keeping the Jack Jumpers hanging around. Obviously, Josh Adams got going late, but then their defensive pressure picked up. Plays like this, the crowd got involved. That's the Jack Jumpers style of play. That's what we saw last week. We saw it when it mattered tonight. That is the minimum level of expectation. If you're going to get beaten by plays like this, you've got to tip your hat to Dusty Hannes for making those kind of plays. But ultimately, they've just got to play with that defensive intensity every single night, and good things will happen.
It was the last play. Majette, first look was a really good one. Second one, of course, as is often the case off an offensive rebound, is tough. But Adams, that 15 points, they were pretty much all late. Steindl did so much of his work in the first half. Hannah's late again after 10 in the first half, and Daniel Johnson, well, when the game was there to be won in the fourth quarter, Homicide, he just stood up and had 7 in a row.
Yeah, he did. There was some big plays being made. Shout out to Adelaide. It's not easy being under the pump, and the pressure was mounting by the possession in this game 3 for them. And Dusty Hannes stepped up big. Great effort. It was tough. It's not easy to win on the road. You're playing against a team that's up and about, playing with a whole lot of energy, and the win was there for the taking, and they figured out a way to get it done down the stretch. So congratulations on your first win, CJ, and Adelaide 36ers.
Have we seen a coach's challenge yet? Because there was a perfect example tonight. And perfectly, we have 2. None this round, though. Well, and there was a perfect example. Oh, yeah, you got that joke, did you?
No, there was. Todd Withers was the one who was locking up Josh Adams. They had about an 8-point lead, picked up his 5th foul on Josh Adams. Didn't do a whole lot wrong. CJ Bruton had a couple of timeouts, I believe, but I'll go back and have a look at that. I think that's exactly the kind of situation where you've got a guy who is locking up the potential guy to take over the game, which we did late. That's the one you might look at thinking, I haven't used the challenge yet. If there's not a whole lot in it, I might get lucky, but that's one I would have definitely looked at.
Hey, 10 points from Mojave King tonight. It's been well documented, but he made the change. First next star to do it in his second year and change clubs. But he was good tonight, aggressive, and really felt like it was one of his most comfortable games at this level in the last, well, probably since he started.
Yeah, I agree. 10 points in 15 minutes, 3 for 4 from the land of plenty. Made some solid decisions out there, and it was just good to see him out there playing and the coach backing him. Even when he made a couple of mistakes, he was still out there, and that just shows the trust that the coach has in him, and good to see him on the court playing.
There we go. Shot it well, 3 of 4. Came out, hit 2 3-pointers early when they really got that lead, when it got out to double figures. He was aggressive and was able to break the press a couple of times, which you spoke about, Hulls. Hey, just on, when you don't win games, it's obviously disappointing. But if this Jack Jumpers team continue to play like that and play a full 40, that joint's going to be packed every single time they take the court. So good luck getting a ticket. And if you don't win a game, you've got to play that way.
Well, you do, and that's exactly what we saw last week. We sound like it because that was the fun they had. They will have highlight plays. Josh Adams is a highlight reel type guy. Not all the time, though. And we talk about other teams around the league. You have to set the tone with your defence, with your intensity and your energy. Scott Roth will clip it up saying, look how much we came back in this game. We made them uncomfortable. The crowd got involved. And then when you're Josh Adams and when you're a highlight type player, if you've been struggling, your defence has started to lift and the crowd gets behind you, those plays become more fun to be part of. It doesn't matter if you're 0 of 10, the next one you think's going down. So Scott Roth has to look at that and say, this is how we have to play every single game.
Amy ladder time, and good news, 36ers fans, screen grab it. Your first win of the year, CJ Bruton, the first win of his coaching career. There you go, 1 and 2. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, we'll see them tomorrow night. They were great last week. New Zealand get a chance to get some revenge. Yanni Wetzel's going to be in uniform, which I can't wait for as well. So early days, but nice start for a couple of those teams on the Amy ladder, Homicide.
I can't wait to see Southeast Melbourne Phoenix tomorrow. Look, I'm ready to see Joe Chi get busy tomorrow. That's what I'm waiting. I know Mumford, Creek, Brokoff, Glizzo, those guys are going to do them.
They're deep.
I want to see Joe Chi.
I'm with you. So is everyone else. Pete Hooley, Corey, thank you.
Thank you.
Big win for Adelaide. Enjoy the rest of your night. Tomorrow night, Breakers in Phoenix.
That's my type. Air Jordan, I'll take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise. I'm top tier, I'm that guy. I'm the man of the year. I'm a man with no fear. I think like I'm a shark. The way I move so sharp.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
Commentators on the sideline or one? It's pinching. It's about pinching that little bit of metal. Okay.
You got a stat sheet there? You got a stat sheet?
We'll just guesstimate it.
All right, guys, if we're ready to go, we've got CJ Bluton and Dusty Harris here. Chris, Scott, do you want to kick off?
CJ, how does it feel to get your first win in the NBL as a coach?
It feels good. I mean, every win that I've been a part of is definitely rewarding, and when I look back at it, when I'm done, I'll probably be very proud. As of right now, it's a great start for the 36ers to get one on the board, and I look forward to many more throughout the season.
I guess with Dusty at the end, that's why you have a player like him who wants his ball the ball in his hands. He wants to be able to take the big shots, and he made the two biggest plays of the game when it mattered most.
Yeah, he is that play. As you said there, he's definitely looking for the ball. He's hunting shots, and he's very aggressive, and he believes in himself, and he backs himself. And while he might not have played up to his full standard or his potential, and we've had chats along the way, but he's able to do great things, and tonight he delivered for us and got us out of a jam and played very well throughout the game.
Sorry, guys.
And Dusty, it was a bit of a
Sorry,
rush.
guys. We haven't finished his audio. We haven't finished his audio.
Next question is you.
Or is it just Luke?
I can only hear you. Yeah, I can't hear the responses.
Oh, that's not good. Testing.
No, I can't hear CJ when he's talking.
Is that on your end or mine? Alright, we're going to start the goal again. Sorry guys. We're going to go back in. Oh, end the call. Sorry guys.
So, Staggers is probably. Yep. Well, I think Staggers. Hello. Testing. 1 2 1 2. You speak so they can hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Yep. Not everyone can hear us. I was going to say the Staggers action, right? So starting horns and he just dribbles off and they both come get you and you come off both, catch it and play off the punch screen, whoever that high big is. If it's Isaac, because you want to keep the big high and him rolling to the rim, you come off this way, he rolls to the rim and you've got the throwback to DJ and you've got the corner guy. If you pitch it, you've got to go through. You need to know other positions besides in Boomer. You know that one spot, and what they did was they sit heavy on the big. And so what you should do is now, instead of like, oh, well, I'm going to get the ball, I come off this. It's, okay, he's all into me. Hey, Isaac, I'm going to double screen you.
Like curl around the screen it or just direct it?
Just screen him, and he goes over the top, and they can throw it right to him. And then you pop out to get a catch if your man, because your man can't help. Mm-hmm. It's recognising the play, and this is where it's probably naive of me of making sure everyone just read what's going on in front of you to make simple plays. Like there was a lot of shots there that was not great, but I liked how you got to the bucket and got to the rim. It's more, and the guys looked to screen for you, right? Like I told them, and it's in here, opposite, throwing it out the other side.
Yeah.
There was a few good looks for that on the weak side of the floor. Uphill DHO, there's sometimes you got to get off the ball a little bit earlier, but that happens. So, and we'll get better at that through time. Can we get a stat sheet or something while we're waiting, or how long is this going to take? Can you go and ask JVG for a stat sheet, just in that room, or Jamie Perlman, one of the two?
I'm just excited I'll finally be able to sleep a little bit.
I mean, everyone's asking me I'm supposed to be feeling like you could have been 0-3. Well, we're not.
Oh yeah.
Can't go tell you what hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Here's what has happened. Like we were up 14 and
had the what if.
We had what if.
Lost?
Oh yeah. Well, that's irrelevant. That's for another day and not for now. But
did you play in more than 6 finals, or did you MJ it?
No, I went every grand. I lost one, so I was at 7. I won 6. So, and the one that we lost, I averaged like 29 the whole season, and then in the finals, Like, they just doubled me the whole game. And I was like, you guys have to make a shot. Someone has to make a play. And playing the big boys, like they...
Who'd y'all play?
Tigers. They were like 7 foot at Chris Anstey. Like, it was 6'11", 7 foot, 6'6". No one was like... Their point guard was 6'4". Melbourne. They were United, yeah. Before they became United. They just keep molding into the mecca just keeps shrinking, like teams keep folding, and they just become bigger and bigger, bang. And then it's like, now, the best players are all on this one team, so... and their payroll's double. You're like, dang, there ain't no way you just staying there for nothing, because shit, we paid you, we offer you more money to come up here. They ain't trying to leave, so... Thank you.
Is it?
Yep, 4 quarters on it. 80-83, is that the score? Was that the score line? Okay. Did you have fun out there? Were you guys excited on the fight back? I'm not saying end result. I said, were you excited? Just asking the question.
The fight back, we dug in.
You dug in, yeah. I think it's great for basketball. I think it's
amazing how the crowd is like compared to Friday night's game. It's flat.
They just, well, I watched it on TV and I was like, man, I can hear the ball bounce and do stuff. I was like, that's like the FIBA games. Like when you're playing Olympics and World Cup, has to be that quiet. Like, I hear the music, I'm like trying to yell at my team and I can't hear me down the floor. It's like...
Yeah, they got some loud
They got some loud, yeah. Cool. Testing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
don't tell me.
Like watching a game from the outside, I'll be like, dang, they're playing music the whole game. But in a game, I don't realize that they're playing music.
I'll take that one. You want that one? Doesn't matter.
It's like during the game, I don't realize they're playing music, When you're watching it, though, from the outside in, you're like, damn, there's music the whole game.
Yeah, the whole game.
The whole game. I don't realize that.
Yeah, I still can't hear them. We had it for a moment. It was pretty faint, and then it went out again.
He got back rolling.
Those 2 turnovers almost cost him.
If that one, we didn't end up turning it over, but if that one had to turn it over, oof.
Oh, we missed a couple box outs and things like that, right? Like, I mean, they had 12 O boards. Like, we had 8. Like, no one should out-rebound us. And this guy gets 4, and he's the one that I have on the stat sheet as on the individual stuff. Jack McVeigh.
Yeah.
No way.
Offensive,
like,
yeah.
Like Sam McDaniel gets 2. 55 for 2 and 27. So this is how we won, basically from the 3-point line. We shot 10.
They'd have been cooked.
It was without a number of our guys we cooked, but it's like Steino's their scorer. Like they have to play at different times and different styles. And when he's off the floor, it's like, well, when he's on the floor at the back end with that group, they keep the floor spread with that crew. But overall, it's like there's only 3 factors on here. Look at it. It's 22. That's Steinel. He's 15. That's Adams. And then where's Jet? There's Jet 11. So. The 3 guys that's going to do the bulk of the scoring. If you lock in, you're good. They get in foul trouble, one of those 3, done. Yeah. That's something that, every team's got to figure out. Like, I mean, they're probably looking at us like, you lose one. I was like, well, I got weapons. I got more weapons. They just haven't seen them all. And we haven't been on sync yet. So 83 points, we should be 94. Like, if we average 94, but... They're missing a trick at a shot, a fade away, throwing at the backboard, like...
You know what that was?
Shoot 3.
Yeah.
He's trying to get his brother just...
Hell yeah, he wanted a fade,
right? Yeah, because he drew the foul, and he was like,
he said,
there's no way I'm going to have you talking to me. We can't have this.
I could see how he was running down the floor.
We're trying to win a game.
Yeah.
We're here trying to do you right now.
He said, fuck the game, I'm going to hear about this at dinner.
And DJ needs to probably shoot more 2s, right? Like, you 1 and 6. Shoot the wide open ones.
I'm going to get reverb.
I don't mind giving everyone the freedom, and this is where it's understanding who you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there another shot?
Yep.
What do you want to put on the table?
You can put the laptop right here. We can act like we're right here. Yeah, we can have a chat.
Can you guys hear that? But we're going to get reverb if I turn the microphone on this.
They're in there waiting on the song, too.
They still in there?
I don't know, maybe they didn't.
They should have sang it already and got up out of there. I'd be back at the hotel right now. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock.
Get you guys to speak nice and loud.
What's happening?
There we go. I can hear you, CJ.
Can you hear me?
All good.
Good.
All right, CJ. What's the feeling like after getting your first win as a head coach?
Definitely happy. Happy for the team. I'm happy for the 36ers, and I'm excited to be on the board. But I hope to get many more.
I'm sure your last answer was a cracker about this, but Dusty, obviously he's sitting next to you. He came up huge down the stretch, and that's why you want a guy like that who wants the ball in his hands when the game's on the line.
Yes, definitely. Dusty's he's a guy that wants the ball. He's told me plenty of times that he's a guy that can get it done, and we all know that he can shoot the ball. And tonight he made a few big shots that dug us out of a hole and kept us in front.
And Dusty, it took you a while to hit your first three in the NBL, but that was a nice way to do it.
Yeah, had a tough first 2 games. Felt like I let my teammates down, the staff down, and everybody. So today was, just about getting back on track and the team getting a win. And I'm glad I was able to get that 3 in a time we needed it.
And you got to the foul line, but then you didn't see the ball a lot in the second half. And then even on that play where you hit the 3, I don't think the ball was necessarily meant to come to you. How did you stay ready to still make those 2 big plays down the stretch?
I'm a professional, so my job is to stay ready. This is my job, and like Coach said, I've told him, I've probably tell too many people that I'm ready for the big moments. I'm ready to shoot the ball, and just stayed ready and was able to make the shot and help us win.
And CJ, Todd Withers had a great game defensively, but the game turned when he went out of the game. You could notice the difference, and Josh Adams got going a little bit as a result of Todd going out of the game. It was a great positive that Todd played so well, but you missed him when he found out.
Yeah, I mean, at different times we're going to have different guys need to step up. But Todd he's an amazing athlete, can defend multiple positions and play. And I think, he was unfortunate on some of those calls. But as I remind him of staying with it, because I think the league's going to recognise just how talented he is on the defensive end of the floor, and try and go away from him a lot more.
Might be an early candidate for the Damian Martin trophy, is he?
Definitely, no doubt. I think what he's shown so far and what he's shown in the preseason, his offensive skill will show at different times, but more so on the defensive end, and his ability to be able to shut down players and take them out of their rhythm is going to be a big key for us throughout the year.
You'll need different guys to step up offensively, and you got great contribution especially from 3 from Mahave King and Mani Malu. They hit some big shots.
Yeah, it was great to have Manny back on the floor. It's been a while, and I was hoping to get him back last week, but it was unfortunate that he couldn't play. And Mo came in and contributed straight away and found his groove. Again, locking in on the defensive end for both those guys is going to be key for us. As with Todd coming in and out, if he's in foul trouble or not, those guys are the guys I'm looking to bring in and contribute as well.
Turnovers were again a bit of a factor. How do you try to tidy that up before Sunday?
We do a lot more passing and catching. Play catch, peekaboo, keepies off. I think just getting open, delivering passes. I think the mindset of staying strong is big, and keep reminding the guys about being a professional and coming in. And even though you're doing 2-on-0 or 3-on-0, 5-on-0, whatever it may be, you still have to deliver passes and still go through that process like you're playing in an actual game. When you go through it and you jog through and you don't give it the maximum what's required, then ultimately that becomes a downfall when it comes game time.
What are your emotions like now? Do you feel relieved to play in a win and also contribute to it, or how are you feeling?
I guess it's relieving might not be the word, but we were definitely let that get a little close. Felt like we had a nice hold on the game until that I don't know what the run was, but they hit a quick little run right there. 7. Yeah, and got it really close. So just to be able to face some adversity as a team and pull that out was big.
Tasmania that you have in Adelaide so far, but are you looking forward to getting back home for another home game now on Sunday, Dusty?
Yeah, you know, just to give our fans a better showing than last time. I thought we've, you know, came back from a tough game in Perth and kind of laid an egg. So just for us to, you know, come out and bring energy and try and give them, you know, a better product to watch Sunday.
And CJ, what are your thoughts on the Breakers now for Sunday? I'm sure you'll watch them closely tomorrow night.
Definitely we'll watch them closely tomorrow, and I saw their first game and know that they've got a lot of talent, and Shamir's done an amazing job with them over the last couple of years, and with the youth that he's got there and the talent he's got, he's going to continue to want bigger and better things out of his group, and I'm looking forward to the challenge ahead.
Thanks, guys. I'm not sure if anyone else has got something.
Yeah, I got one. CJ, obviously, top with us, he touched on, he had applied the defensive clamps on Adams. He went off early in that first quarter, which looked like it was it looked like an ankle at first, but it turns out it was actually a cramp. Is that correct? Is that the right diagnosis?
That's the right diagnosis, yes. It was, yeah. He's cramped up and had to go to the locker room, and we need to make sure we're on top of that so we don't have too many issues throughout the season.
You tell him to harden up if he's cramping up after 5 minutes?
No, because I've been in that spot a lot, and when there's days where I can go to practice 6 straight days and have no problem, and come game day, maybe it's the light, I don't know, it's what you eat, but maybe just being African American, I've seen it happen a lot to him, so I was just glad it wasn't a major injury.
Yep, and what did you notice was the key difference between this performance and the one against Gordon's team on the weekend?
Say that again?
So what did you notice was maybe the big difference between the way you played tonight and the way you did against the Hawks on the weekend?
Well, clearly we still turned the ball over. I think our aggression to get to the rim, we made shots as well. I thought we made a few more shots, and we kept them under pressure. While they pressured us in the backcourt, we didn't let them fly the ball around as freely as they wanted to early, and it gave us a big lead.
And have the docs told you how funny Sunday Detch and Kai Soto are at the moment?
No, I hope to get some information in the next 24 hours and hopefully get those guys back on deck.
Great, thanks CJ, that's all for me.
Thank you.
Cool, if we're all good, we'll get these guys out of here so they can go on cover. Thanks, guys. Stick around.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, guys. You want the document from JB, but do it now.
Thank you.
Is that a stat sheet?
Yeah. He was going to take it both and hang on to it.
Keep going.
If you want that right in the middle, I got that from the sideline guys.
Hey guys, when I'm just turning off my sound because I've got notifications coming through the socials. Can you can still hear them throughout that back half of that presser? Alright guys, got Clint Steindl and Scott Roth here. Whenever you're ready, kick off.
Scott, wasn't always pretty, but you still gave yourselves a chance down the stretch. What did you make of that game?
Well, first, I'd like to congratulate Adelaide and, more importantly, CJ. He's waited a heck of a long time to become a head coach in the league, and for him to get his first win, I know how excited he probably is, and so congratulations to him on doing that. I thought they played very well, and you know, we started off slow, not a lot of energy, and that kind of built through that first half, and eventually we got some things going in the second half, and at the end of the day, you know, our margin of error is not very big, and we have to have the intensity and energy to play all the time, and it's a good learning lesson for us. I don't like to learn that way, but it is at the end of the day that the league is very competitive. There's a lot of very good players in here, and you need to keep your edge, and there's some positive things out of there, but just a couple mental lapses and some breakdowns.
Josh Adams had a tough night for defence, but it shows a lot of character to then be able to step up late in the game to give you a chance like he did and hit those big shots.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, again, his energy got better as the game, progressed, especially in the second half. And like anything else, Clint can tell you very well, when a shooter sees the ball start going through the net, you get a little more excited on both ends of the floor just in general. But, it was good that he responded that way, and hopefully that will have some carryover into our next game.
Kept you in the game as well. It was nice to see him knock down some shots.
Sorry, go again, please.
I didn't hear it.
No, sorry. Your captain knocked down some shots to keep you in the game as well. It was nice to see Clint play well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's a heck of a player in my opinion, and one of the best shooters in the league, and moves so well without the ball. And there's a big fear factor of him, and just a class act. And when I got this job, he was one of the #1 targets for me to bring someone with his character and class to this organization. And it was good to see him shoot the ball well.
Yeah, mate. I mean, always good to see the ball go through the hole, but I guess a lot of our troubles are at the other end of the floor, especially in defensive transition. We're just getting too many easy buckets, and we made an adjustment in that second half where I'll just slow that down a bit and give ourselves a chance. But when I guess they did the damage earlier on, since then we're just playing catch up, and we fought our way back. But you can't be playing catch up the whole way. So.
Scott, it's Max back here from the Sporting Max podcast. I just wanted to quickly touch on what Chris was speaking about before. Josh Adams really taking control, taking the bull by the horns. Late in that last quarter, Corey Homicide-Williams said on the broadcast, you get the ball in his hands in the dying minutes of the game, he's going to win the game for you. What impact do you think he can have on the JackJumpers for your inaugural season?
Well, Corey's pretty smart, so I agree with him that he's here to score for us, and we've given him a green light to go do that within obviously some boundaries. But we want him to be aggressive. We want him to score the basketball. The slow start across the board hurt us, and he did finally get a rhythm going there, and we'll see what happens up in Cairns. But he has the potential every night to have big scoring nights, and we just need to get off to a better start. And like Clint said, we had a lot of mental lapses, especially on the defensive end, and I wasn't really pleased in the first half with our intensity. We just weren't the desperate team at the end of the day.
So Clint, when you come off those sort of pick and pop situations, how does your confidence build over the course of, I guess, that first quarter where you knocked down a couple of threes?
Yeah, mate. I mean, I guess it's been my job for quite a few years now, so I guess I've built the confidence over a number of years flying off those screens, and essentially that's my job on the floor, is to move without the ball, space the court, and I guess any shooter will tell you, when you see a couple go in, you keep hunting the next one, you keep hunting, and when you get the ball, your job's to shoot it, whether you're missing or making them. They're predictable shots, that's what you're there to do. So even if you miss a couple, you got to come off flying and looking to shoot the next one. That's my job.
What do you try to do, as captain, not only on the court, but off the court in the group too?
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of it is helping build a sustainable culture here at the club, something that the Tasmanian community is going to be proud of, not just now, but 10 years down the track. So, I mean, it's just not myself. It's the whole group in the way we carry ourselves. I mean, we're about to go on our first road trip. It's how approachable are we going to be in the airport when people come up to us, how we interact with the community, and being a team down here, that's going to be massive in terms of the club moving forward. So it's just doing the right things in that manner.
Last question. How do you go about coming off of this loss and looking forward to Saturday's game against the Cairns Taipans? How do you prepare for this game on Saturday?
Yeah, mate. Oh, you got this?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to review it. it's going to be a quick turnaround. So we're not going to dwell on it too much. I mean, second game of the season, we'll look at the tape, understand where we went wrong, but a lot of it's just going to be switching on to our next opponent, because we can't do much about that one. We got to prepare, get our bodies right. We got to travel and prepare as best we can for the Taipans coming up in, I guess, less than 48 hours now.
Scott, you talked yesterday about how proud you were of Will Magnay's game last week, but
Yep.
you just couldn't get involved for whatever reason tonight. Is that something that you'll look to address before Saturday?
No. The reality is, and I just talked to Will just a few minutes ago before I came here, he's probably 3 or 4 more weeks away, in my opinion, to being in actually basketball shape. He hasn't done anything for 5 months, and in the last 3 weeks, he's sped up his conditioning and has been practicing almost every day. He has not been doing that. We've been taking it very slow with him, and so I think he's probably 3 to 4 weeks away from getting most of the rust off his conditioning level, getting to where he knows it has to get to. He's a hard worker, and there's tons of room there for him to grow. And we just have to be patient with him. That injury he's coming off with, you have to just monitor it, and he's doing very well. But I still think he's probably 3 or 4 weeks away from seeing his best version of just being in really great condition and running the floor and doing the things he does.
And Clint, just finally, how do you feel going back to Cairns now as captain of the JackJumpers? It's where you started your NBL career, obviously. You've got some good memories there, and now you head back as a captain of a new club.
Yeah, mate, it's, I guess, starting out as a youngster and now being on a team where I'm the oldest guy, it's definitely come full circle. And I guess looking back on my time in Cairns, it's learning from the guys like Alex Loughton, Aaron Grabeau, Jamar Wilson, seeing those guys and how they operate just at that club when I was there. And picked up a few lessons along the way, especially my time in Perth, under Damo and Jesse Wagstaff. I guess it's, like I said, everything's kind of come full circle, and it's, I guess, my time to, I guess, lead a team and put, I guess, everything in place that I've been able to learn over the years. And Cairns has just happened to be where it all started.
Thank you.
Any others? Oh, so go, Brez.
Clint, how's the hand after tonight? Because it looked like it was 100%. Is it back to 100% or close?
No, it's pretty close, mate. Just managing it right now. There's not much else we can do for it. It'll continue to heal. Just got to stop sticking it in wrong places, I guess.
It's his left hand too, so he doesn't need it.
Okay. And Scott, that was a great game by Clint tonight. So would you say that's a captain's game, the type of reason that you appointed him the captain?
Well, I didn't appoint him the captain. First of all, I signed him to come here. The players voted him to be the captain. But I brought him here to go on this journey with me and Kayla and Noah and his family to take these responsibilities on. I thought when I was in Perth he was ready for the next step, and I had no idea that he would actually end up leaving. And this is a great moment for him in the next 2 or 3 years here to develop this culture with me and build up his credentials, obviously, as a leader now and a guy that's out in the forefront with this team. And he's just a great example on the floor and off the floor for everyone involved.
And just lastly, Josh, that's the second game in a row that Josh has taken a little time to warm into the game. Is that his MO, or is that something, a habit you'll be looking for him to break?
I guess I'll have to talk to him about it. I don't know what his MO is right now. His MO is to score for us, and I don't know. I'll ask him that question for you.
All good? Let these guys get back to recovery.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
3 points, Daniel Johnson. Sixers ball the base. I can't hear you! I can't hear you! I can't hear you! Johnson.